Yes, yes. Sounds good. We are here. All right. Awesome. Finally. All right. So, thank you for coming out. Appreciate you coming out. And we're going to be here for a couple hours. Okay. So, block out the time. And here's something that I want to stress to you right now if you're here. Don't let yourself get distracted. I go very deep. I go through a lot. And if you are here, you're blessed to be able to get a lot of this information that usually you have to pay hundreds of dollars for. Okay. So we do this every so often, and we show you guys what really is going on with the algorithm, what's going on with Facebook, what really happens now, what the shift is from the old traditional ways to the new ways. That's what we're going to do today. Okay. And it's very important to stick to it and follow along, because every piece builds upon another. If you miss something, then it's not going to make sense in the next section. So this is one of my pay attention moments where get comfortable, get your favorite drink, get ready, get set, and then buckle up, because we're going to go a couple hours and it's going to be a lot. And it's going to be way different than if you've been on any other webinar, how much content I actually give you and whether or not you're going to pay attention to it. Because inevitably, I have people who at the end ask questions of things that I've covered in depth. It's like they kind of like tuned out or something. And I need you all to stay with me, because it's gonna all flow into a point of logical conclusion, okay? But it is a lot, okay? It is going to be a lot. We're gonna show you about why this method works so well. We're gonna prove it. We're gonna walk you through a few examples. We're gonna show you our ad structures. We're gonna give away a template at the end. So here's my offer to you, all right? This is part of our, ethical coercion in a way. Our ethical bribe to you is, here's the deal. If you stick with us for the 2 hours, then we're going to give you our offer. We do have an offer for you, which is an opportunity to take advantage of our do-it-yourself, plug-and-play ad templates, formulas, and all of our processes that we use in our agency that get massive results for our clients. Okay, you literally use the same fill-in-the-blank templates. We're going to give you that offer, but we're going to prove this to you first, okay? And so we're going to give you that offer, and then after that offer, then I will give you guys, as a part of hearing us out, okay? So some of you are going to want to continue with this, some of you won't, but as a part of hearing us out, hear me out first, and then I'll give you that template at the end. Is that a deal? Let me know in the chat if that's a deal. If that works for you, you'll stick here for a couple hours, you'll hear me out, you'll hear everything, and you'll get all of that info, and then you'll get that template, and I'll show you how to get that at the end. Sound good? And we will send out a limited time replay. Okay, so just so you know, the offer that we're going to give you today does expire. It's about half off from our regular price, what we do on it, and I'll give you all those details later. But just want you to know that that is going to be limited time. So you want to make sure to check your emails. If you cannot stay on, today the whole time, which I highly recommend you do because there's stuff here for being here, then make sure you open those emails to be able to see the replay here. Okay, because we'll have that for a limited time. Okay, so deal. Leonard, Nikki, guest, Krishan, right on. And you guys, here's what you need to do. You need to sign in. So the guest number, it doesn't work for me. I want to know who you are. Come here, hang out with me. I asked for you to be here for 2 hours. So sign in, tell me your name so I can address you as we go through this workshop. Does that sound fair, guys? So go ahead and sign in rather than just guest. Go actually sign in with, chat roll. And it's a great chat. We've got it being monitored right now with my team, and we're going to take care of you. So do that for us, okay? How do I change? Actually, you may have to, where do we sign in? It may be too late, so don't worry about it. It's all right. Let's just keep on going. All right, so just check in chat. Some people look like they may still be having some stream issues. I'm not sure. Hit refresh and hit play. Yeah, and so Matt, yeah, just let them know they need to, yeah, just log out, log back in, guys. Refresh. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Yes, this is the first time we've actually done the live stream like this with chat roll, so we're working out some bugs. So stay with us, okay? All right. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna walk you through the things that are way different and the biggest common myth. Some of you may have seen the 5 fallacies videos. Matt, can you go turn off my ads? And I'm going to walk you through the 5 fallacies videos. Okay. Not the 5 fallacies videos, but you've seen the 5 fallacy video, and I'm going to walk you through each of those things here and explain why they work differently than what you've been told, because you're probably going to be shocked and angered at what you find out today that others and other trainers are not telling you. And some of it's not because they're choosing not to, it's because they don't know any better. I can promise you right now, if you're here, then you already have an understanding to a certain degree of what I've explained in my videos to you. And this is a way that is better, it is superior, it works better than anything else, because every other method has been from past platforms that were not social media. It is literally the best one out there. Nothing even touches it, not even close. Okay, so, but you need to understand the philosophy of this so that you understand how this plays out. So we're gonna hop into the slides, we're gonna get into this, and we're gonna have some fun today. Okay, guys, you guys with me? Let me know in the chat if you're with me. All right. Okay. Love it. Love it. Thanks, guys. All right. Sterling. Yes. John. Every 40s. That's weird. I don't know. All right. Sharing my screen now, and let's do it. All right, so this is our system for writing predictably high converting, fully scalable Facebook ads without hiring a copywriter. Okay, that is my better half, Irina, who works with us in the agency. She's helped me pioneer this method, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So what we're going to do today, you're going to learn specifically how we contextually target with text. Kind of interesting, right? That increases ROI 2x to 5x, and then oftentimes even more, with a coded approach using proven formulas tested on over almost 1.5 million in the last year. It is pretty much 1.5 million now, without hiring a pro copywriter, because that is not the way to go. I promise you, most business owners and most people want to hire that because they don't feel right about what they're they think that sales is a weird, greasy, slimy game to play, and so they want to try to have someone else do it, when in fact traditional copywriters are not set up for social media, and it actually bites you in the ass by having that happen. And we've shown that over and over and over again. Okay, so but just so you know, we practice this ourselves. Like we said, like this is just a screenshot just from earlier this year, and 1.5 mil in total spend across our different ad accounts. This is what we've witnessed. Okay, this is what we've seen. So by the end of this workshop, you'll know our contextual targeting approach that eliminates the laser targeting myth parlayed by so many gurus. This will be an eye opener. All right, we're not going to go there first, but we'll go there soon. Why pro copywriters are actually handicapped when it comes to social media copywriting, which actually eliminates the need for one. Okay, then we're going to do the 5 fallacies of Facebook ads, but we're going to go a little deeper into how they actually work. And then what we're going to do is really throughout the whole training, there will be things that overcome those 5 fallacies and in depth, in detail, so you understand why. Okay, so by the end of it, you'll understand this. Then you're going to learn our golden social rule of engagement. We're going to get into that pretty much right away after the copywriting bit. And then we're going to go through our 3 trade secrets. This is the meat and potatoes. But if you don't understand these things before, this stuff is not going to make sense. So stay with me. Okay. Now, first off, why the heck should you even listen to me? All right. Well, this is what I said to myself back in 2015, December of 2015, December 7th, when I resigned from a company that I had helped build that did 200 million in 5 years in sales. And it was an online training company. We were selling software, we were selling training info products, and I had named the company. I helped one of my best friends build it and was responsible for a lot of the architecture and the strategy with it, and played some big roles in growing that company. Okay, but then the company basically had a lot of corruption. My good friend, the owner, basically let people around him who were complete psychopaths, and they took advantage of him being very trusting. And much to me trying to protect him, I found out I could not, because he had their ear. I had to resign because I was basically, there was so much corruption that when I tried to expose it, they were trying to put my head on the chopping block. So I decided that I don't want to, I'd rather be broke, homeless, and starving than deal with unethical people that are trying to bamboozle people with fake ass marketing that is not helping anybody. Okay. And not be ethical with people. And I couldn't handle that. There was embezzling going on. There was all kinds of stuff. And so from that, we lost everything. We lost our house in Vail. We were free falling through Colorado, sleeping on couches of friends. And it was really tough. Like this picture was actually taken Christmas Day, and in a place called Divide, Colorado. Divide. And we were really at a divide in our life. And we had been divided from everything that was just a part of our life. And we were in shock. And these smiles you see are us like trying to smile while trying to stay positive when everything was falling apart around us. And why do I tell you this? Because this is why we got to where we are, because then we decided to start completely over because I could not sell any of my own products or my own stuff. So, because I had a non-compete clause with the company that I just resigned from. So I had a 12-month non-compete, so which means I couldn't sell any of the stuff that I had, and or else they were going to come after me. And one of them was really wanting to bury me any way he could. Really malicious person, just because he knew I was exposing what he was doing. And so we walked away from that whole niche, that whole industry, and we started over from scratch. This is a picture of us at Facebook headquarters when we went there for a visit to talk to some ads managers. But we opened up our agency and we decided to work with business owners, and we did it with every different type of business owner: digital products, physical, local, brick and mortar, even agencies, helping other agencies. And we found out that we had a little bit of a different approach that was working better than any other type of ads that we've ever seen. And we started to realize why. Okay, so we developed our formula from doing Facebook ads. I've been doing them, and so has Irina, since you could do Facebook ads on Facebook when the platform originally came out in its beta test in 2011. And so I'd always been doing really long style story-based ads, not short ads. I just kind of always known and realized that they didn't work that well, except when I gave value and I educated and I did the right things, and connected and empathized. I did all those things, and it worked so much better. So we really developed it into a formula. And from that, we developed a reputation where we had some high profile clients come to us. Some of you may know of Digital Marketer, that, one of the leaders in the online marketing space, Dominate Web Media, Smart Music Business. He's been featured by Facebook for his unique ways that we did for him. Kind of funny they didn't give us credit, but that's okay. But a handful more. Some of you may have heard of Sam Carr. We've consulted them, and a handful of others, right? So our team, we built out the agency and taught our code methodology, our philosophy. Okay, and it's just funny. I just want you to understand that, like, someone just came in, took advantage of our offer recently, and said, I wanted to post these results. And this is the reason I'm telling you this, is because he only did what he learned on this free workshop, on this live training now. Before he even used the course at all, he said, what I learned from Chris's free webinar, we're now getting 5.24x return on ad spend from the cold code ad. And cold means cold traffic, the first time they've never seen you before, direct to a front-end live webinar. That's front-end sales. I'm stoked, and so are my clients, and that's me applying only a portion of what's inside the course. Humble brag over. So, like you said, the ones I wrote solely based on what I learned from Chris's free webinar. So this stuff today, you're going to be able to walk away with a template that you can use, and a lot of concepts and philosophies that you can put together that is going to make a difference in your business if you let it. Obviously, we'll have our offer for you. Some of you are going to want to continue and really get into this stuff and utilize a lot of our stuff, our fill-in-the-blank templates and things like that, which just have proven to work. And that's going to be completely and entirely up to you, but I want to show it to you first, right? So I think we all do understand this. The way we communicate has changed, all right? Too many psychopaths as CEOs, Richard, I like it. Yeah, no kidding. So the way we communicate has changed. Gimmicks are amateur attention getters, prove worse results. That's true. Like, everyone is trying to just, do some kind of a thing that rattles somebody's chain and gets attention. But you know what? It makes you look desperate. It makes you look gimmicky. and it makes you look like an amateur. And I'll tell you what, every professional I know who makes 7 and 8 figures from Facebook ads and spends 6 figures a month on Facebook ads, none of them do this crap. None of them do gimmicks or stupid things that are, flashing stuff or, fire emojis and all that. Like, these emojis don't matter. Okay, because if the strongest point about your ad is your emojis or your shock and awe picture or image or creative, then you have bigger problems, because it's not about that. I'll explain why. So on Facebook, we don't have one-on-one conversations unless you're in Messenger, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about having group conversations, because someone posts and everyone sees it, and then they respond in the comments. And so it's like a group conversation. It's different than one-on-one. So you don't have to talk one-on-one, all right? And the other thing is, traditional power words do not work like they used to, and I'll prove it, okay? And I'll come back to some of this, but you'll understand this. So here's my proof. HubSpot and Outbrain, one of the 2 largest companies inside this space, right? One of them, HubSpot, essentially has a bunch of software, helps you build your landing pages, training, that type of thing. And then Outbrain is an ad network, which is those ads that you see at the bottom of blog articles and news articles that say you may also be interested in, or you may also like. And Outbrain is one of those networks that essentially there'll be a picture and then a short headline, and it looks like an article, but it's actually an advertorial. They're trying to sell you something. And so that's Outbrain. So they teamed up together and they did a test. They did a study. What they did is they tested the words in the headline to see what worked the best and what words did not work. So they found some common things. They found that the traditional power words that copywriters have been taught for years and years and years, their go-to words in their tool belt to use to kind of emotionally manipulate or get people over the edge, they found that whenever those power words were inside the sentence, the rate of clicking on that link to read that article went down. It's just like, if you had a 1% link click rate, look at this, the word magic, right? Minus 59%. So instead, let's say before it was 1% the year before, but now that same exact headline or with that word in it on average decreased click rates by 59%, which means the link click-through rate on that ad went from 1% down to 0.41, more than in half. Okay, that's crazy. And so here's some of the other words that everyone thinks work so well that are actually hurting you. They're actually sabotaging you. Tip, minus 59%. Credit, minus 58%. The word cure, it's a 4-letter word, guys, minus 49%. The word simple, putting simple in the sentence, minus 49%. Basically cut the click rate in half. The word how to, can you believe that? Minus 49% for how to. And we'll talk more about that. The word easy, minus 44%. The word need, minus 44%. The word free, minus 41%. So using the word free in your headline literally decreased headline click rates by 0.4. So before it was 1%, now it's like, what, 59%? Isn't that nuts? Just by using that word. Why? Because people are over it. Because they're starting to get inoculated to it. They're starting to build up an immunity to it because it's been used and overused so much. And then on top of that, you try to translate this to social media and it just doesn't work the same because people can tell. Social media, people will call you out for being fake and people can feel it, right? That's why there's such a big movement towards authenticity. I'm going to help you with that. So the word why, literally the word why, minus 37%. How crazy is that? Okay. Reader ref, minus 36%. The word trick, minus 26%. The word the go-to for so many copywriters in their headlines, amazing, right? Minus 24%. So it increased it by 1/4. The word secret by itself, minus 23%. Isn't that crazy? So just think about that for a second, that some of you who are savvy with this understand, well, Chris, That's from a, a news article, on a website. That's not on Facebook, on social media. And I would say you're exactly right. So does my argument hold water? Absolutely, yes, it does, because let me ask you this. If it doesn't even work on a website, then what makes you think you can get away with using hypey words like this, where people can actually respond to you in real time and call you out for saying this crap? Do you think it's going to make a difference? Clearly, with as much as we've done, it makes a huge difference. Now, do we stay away from these words completely? No, we use them in the right context with the right words around them, but we don't use them as a rule. They're not our power words. And so I want you all to understand that when you hire a traditional copywriter, when you hire them to write your ads, they're going to try to use these words, and it's only going to tank your ads. I have so many people that use my templates and say, I just filled in the blank in your templates, and the copywriter couldn't even get a good result as me. So I'll show that. I'll prove that. Okay. So does this make sense to everybody? Let me know in the chat. All right. So what does this really mean? What does this really mean if the way we communicate has changed and the way that we've been taught to market has changed? Then what does it really mean? For one, it means we do not have to hire a copywriter to have successful Facebook ads. I see these copywriters coming out of these traditional copywriting schools where they learn how to write long copy sales letters, which doesn't even, don't even get me started, right? Like, I'm a copywriter, don't get me wrong. For those of you who are copywriters who have learned copy, like, this is blasphemy to a lot of you, and I get it, right? I'm a copywriter too, but I also stand on the shoulders of giants when I understand what they've taught, but I've had to translate it to Facebook. So if you are a copywriter, if you can get out of your own way with your habits and learn how to translate using the right philosophy with social media, then you'll be great. But right now, there's nothing like that exists except for people in our community, because we're the only ones that have a specific focus on social media and how that translates. There's nobody else out there doing that. They may say they do, but they're not even close to this, okay? So you do not have to give outrageous promises or claims that make you feel salesy. And that's the other thing, is that everyone, that's what the traditional marketing is. It's a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of hypes and promises and claims. And that's what it's all about. What do copywriters talk about? It's all about the big hype, the big claim, the big promise. What's the big idea, right? And on Facebook, you can't do that, because if you make a promise you can't back up that 100% of your clients, customers will experience, then Facebook calls it against their policies to even use. Like, you can't even say, lose 10 pounds in a week or whatever, lose 5 pounds in 7 days. You can't even say that, because not everybody who buys your product is going to lose 5 pounds in 7 days. That's what's called an unsubstantiated claim. And that's defined by the Federal Trade Commission here in the United States, which Facebook adopts for their policy as well. So an unsubstantiated claim is when you try to make a promise to somebody and not 100%, every single person who buys your product will have that experience. If they don't, you can't say it. And that's a major thing, because copywriters are taught to give a huge freaking promise, to give a big, bold claim. And it's literally going to tank you right out of the gate, the first freaking thing they do. You guys see, I get worked up about this because I talk to copywriters and it's like they don't want to listen. They just go pew, pew, like they've been indoctrinated. So what I'm going to do today is indoctrinate you guys into my method that I've developed that works much better, and I'm going to show it with numbers. Okay, so you've seen this, all right? You've seen this. Checking things here, and aiming for the cheapest lead. So we're going to go over this. We're going to go over these things throughout the course of our training today. And you guys have seen some of my video about aiming for the cheapest lead. We don't want the cheapest lead. We want the most qualified lead. Okay. When you measure by cost per click, that's an old traditional way of doing it, because it doesn't matter. It's a secondary factor. So you much more so want to measure by click ratio. Okay. So we'll come back around to that. All right. But the shorter the ad, the better. I will absolutely blow that out of the water. Okay. Optimizing for the next step. Now, a lot of people go, well, what's wrong with that? Well, like, if I want to generate leads, why don't I optimize for leads rather than, a lot of people will try to do page views, which is really like the next step. And that's not smart. because you have an algorithm that now has over 400,000 different data points for every single Facebook user. Every single Facebook user has 400,000 plus different data attributions in their profile that Facebook measures, which is all about, they track where you go, they track what you say, they know what you've eaten, they know all your buying history, all of that, because everybody has a Facebook pixel on their website. So they know every website you go to, they know the conversations you've had, they take into account the messenger conversations you have. So they know so much about you. Now that's scary and it's a little shocking, and people get upset about that. But I want you to also look at it from a different perspective. You, as someone trying to reach your ideal client, your ideal customer, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Why? Because now you can tell Facebook who to go show your ad to. We'll talk about it. I'll show you this. I'll walk you through this, okay? Then the last one, we talked a little bit about it here at the beginning. You need a pattern interrupt to get attention. And someone trying to get attention makes you come off as amateurish. And so you don't need to interrupt people's pattern. You just need to set the right context. When you set the right context, the numbers I'm going to show you are going to prove that setting the right context with your ads is super important. So I know a lot of you are kind of like spinning probably right now, like, wow, all this is crazy, right? When are we going to make this actionable? We're going to get into that now. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a few more concepts. Stay with me, okay? And I'm going to open up a new world to you, all right? So Facebook is not a one-on-one conversation. What you're actually doing is you're talking indirectly to a group of people like you're at a party. So I want you to imagine a party, and you're standing in a circle of 5 people around you, and you're number 6. So there's 5 people standing around you. They're all holding their favorite drink. They're all smiling, kind of chuckling, and everyone's saying their own thing, and one person's talking, and everyone's listening. That is the essence of social media. So why is it that everyone tells you to call out your prospect and say, hey, business owner, or are you looking to buy a house, or all of those things? Not cool. Do you know why? It's because you're being invasive. That's like the annoying person that walks right into the party, barely shakes your hand, hands them their card and says, hey, I've got a deal for you. And they start pitching you on their latest little deal. Or if they're a mortgage broker or whatever, and they're bold, they come in and start pitching, like, you should work with me, or like, are you looking at real estate? Are you looking to buy a house? And they try to go right into getting your business like a moron, right? And what do? You back off, you close off. You're like, what do you want? Like if someone walks up to you at a party cold and one-on-one is like, hey, are you a business owner? I mean, you're kind of like, just ask yourself, if you are a business owner and someone came up to you at a party and did that, what would you do? Well, you'd probably kind of like close off a little bit, like maybe, or you might be bold enough to say yeah, or you might be like no. Or if you say yeah, you do it, but you're closed off. You now are on guard. You've got your guard up because you feel like they're going to try to sell you something. So let's throw that BS out the window. You don't need to be like that. You don't need to be asking direct questions, because although you may identify 1 to 2%, 1 or 2 people out of 100 that are ready, the experience of the other 98% is what affects your ad more than the 2% that you have success with. I'll explain that again, and I'll walk through more of it. But first, our golden social rule of engagement, okay? If anyone in my agency does this, they're fired on the spot, okay? Never start your ad with a direct self-identification question. And you see this all the time, right? Attention business owners, or if you're an artist, someone's going to be in your newsfeed saying, are you a music artist, ? Or saying something like, hey, influencers, or a real estate agent that may be looking to sell your home. Do not start your ad with a question, because a couple things are happening. One, you look like everybody else, right? Like you look like you're just another ad to them because everyone says that. They have no creativity, right? Everyone just says the same thing. Hey, are you this? Are you that? Do you suffer from this? First off, you can't even really respond because you're on social media in a group. You're not talking to them one-on-one. But when you do that and that person isn't the problem, like they're not your target market, then what they're going to do is, because you're being direct with them, they have a high probability to mark your ad as not relevant or mark it as spam and hide the ad. Okay. When that happens, then you have negative effects on your relevance score, on your engagement scores, and Facebook, which values the user experience more than anybody else, says, oh, this is not a good piece of content that's giving a good user experience. Let's stop showing it. So if a lot of you are wondering why your ads burn out, let me introduce you to this one concept that no one talks about with the algorithm. Remember, again, what's the biggest priority of the Facebook algorithm? The positive user experience. They will do whatever they can to avoid their users having a negative experience. How do they find that out? When people give negative feedback on your ad, or hide it, or mark it as spam, or flag it, that's giving you all negative marks, and that's why your ad is going to burn out, because it says, oh, this is not a good piece of content for everybody. Let's stop showing it. But no one teaches that, right? Because this is what happens. Like for me, like this showed up in my newsfeed. I'm not an agent, a team lead, or a broker, but the ways Facebook's targeting is, sometimes you're going to get ads that are not relevant to you. So what happens? You can click that little three circle box up top here in the right, and then you can report the ad or hide the ad, right? You can even ask, why am I seeing this? But what happens is people do this at a large rate. So let's say you do reach 2 or 3 people that are like, hey, yeah, I am an agent, or I am a team lead of an agency, or, you know, I'm a broker. The problem is that all of the other 97%, let's just say it's 2 people out of 100. So there's 98 out of 100. Even if there's a fraction of them that go up here and mark this as hide it or report it, because they're like, this is not me. Like they feel pushed on. They feel, are you guys getting this? They feel like they're being directly targeted, and that's when people lash out and give negative comments and then ban you and all that stuff and delete you, right? It's the same thing that happens, okay? So understand this, all right? Yeah, guess the first 2 points were my thoughts exactly, and I'm not an expert on ads at all. Richard, 100% sense, makes the most sense. You're touching on all my speculations. Exactly. Right on, right on, right on. I'm loving this. Richard, wow. Yeah, prayer coaches. Yep. So, you know, that's what happens, right? So here's why, here's the reason number 2 why you don't want to be direct and ask a question. Reason number 2, which is, you never want to ask for your prospect's attention. You want to have the right context set so that they naturally want to pay attention to you. You don't have to ask them, okay? Because if you're asking them, then what happens is you're giving your power to them. You're giving the power for them to choose and decide. And that's never the case. So I want you to imagine this. Go back to that party and you're standing there with 5 people. Now let's say that you're not standing there and you're walking by another group of 5 people where someone's talking. And let's say you do want to buy a house. You're looking to buy a house. You're thinking about it, right? You're kind of like in that stage of like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a house. And then all of a sudden you're walking by and you hear this person, clearly as a real estate agent, talking about the market and talking about what are the best things to be careful about when buying a house in today's market. What are you going to do? You're going to stop. You're going to walk over, you're going to lean in, and you're going to listen. Okay? So if we have the right context and you know that that ad is relevant to you when you're scrolling through your news feed, you will stop. All right? But it's about setting the right context. And that's one of our trade secrets we're going to show you guys. Okay? So let's look at it like this. So to recap this one part, okay, if you are hitting people too directly, then they feel pushed upon and they feel rushed and they feel like they can't enjoy their news feed because you're trying to pitch them something. Okay, so then they try to hide ads and report ads. Even if you reach 1 or 2 people, this is the reason why your ad doesn't continue to go. It's because Facebook goes, oh, that's not a good experience, because there's maybe 5 or 6 out of that 100 that are hiding the ad or reporting it, saying this is not cool, I don't want to see this in my newsfeed anymore. And so Facebook goes, bad experience, let's stop showing the ad. That's why, for those of you that your ad burns out and it stops either getting impressions or the cost goes way up, is because they show it to the people that are more likely to handle the negativity, but they don't buy stuff, they don't click on stuff, and it's just not quality people. And you're not getting preference in the auction, in the algorithm, because your ad doesn't have a high relevance score, or what is now known as engagement score and conversion rate score and those things. You're getting low marks, low scores, so your ad can't even compete in the auction with the ads that are giving a really good, positive user experience. Did you know that you don't bid with your money? Now, that's partially true. You do bid, in your auction with a certain amount of bid, right? But what is also a part of that is if you have an ad that has a relevant score of 10 and you have an ad that's a relevant score of 6, then the ad with a 10 is going to beat the ad with a relevant score of 6, even if the relevant score of 6 ad is bidding more. Because Facebook doesn't value your money, they're billionaires, right? They value the user experience, okay? So understand that that's one of the most important things to know, is that, yeah, sure, some of this stuff sure works, and on other platforms where there's not a huge algorithm calculating all the negativity as well, these direct call out the user, call out your perfect prospect, and use fear mongering and manipulation. If you want to do that, sure, it works other places, but it ain't going to happen here for very long. Your ad won't sustain. Okay. And some of you are not trying to manipulate or do anything like that, but you're just doing what you're taught, right? You're doing what you're taught in terms of, well, let me ask a question because that seems like the thing I should do. But you look like everybody else, so less people click on it. And you're being too invasive to people. When you're invasive, people back up. Okay, so I think I've hammered that enough. Does that make sense in terms of the user experience? Do you get that about the algorithm? Okay, I want to see some yeses or nos. Yeah, Carrie, I have hidden marked as not relevant many times. Yep, 100% makes sense. Yep. Okay, fully 100%. Cool. Okay. Yes. Right on. Thank you, Oren. All right. Sure do, man. All right, so let's get into our trade secrets, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about using contextual targeting with text. I'm going to give you the good stuff, which you think is the best one first, but I actually save the best for last. Contextual targeting with text to train Facebook's machine learning algorithm in finding qualified prospects with less wasted ad spend, okay? Then once we do that, and you're going to be blown away by that, then trade secret number 2, notice I use the phrase trade secret. I don't just use the word secret. Okay, it's called context. It's a trade secret. It's a specific proprietary thing we do in our agency. Okay, that's our trade secret. Okay, so we've qualified the word secret because remember, a lot of you know, wait a second, if you're looking back at the headline study, the word secret was on there. It was like minus 24% or something like that. But I'm using it in the right context. Okay, we're going to talk about context a lot more. What is context? Context is when you have a perfect understanding of the point A to point B. It's like a fraction. A fraction, 3/4, right? There's a numerator is the 3 and the denominator is a 4. You have context. You understand 3/4. But if it was just 3 with a dash and there was no number for the denominator, that is not having context. 3 could mean anything, but it's not compared to. You can't compare it to any standard. It could be 3/6, it could be 3/8, it could be 3/3, which means 1. You don't know. But when you have context, you have a numerator and a denominator. You do that in your copy, you do that in your marketing message, you do that in your ads. Okay, so stay with me there. All right, so our Epic Ad formula. You guys are going to love that. That has been a labor of love over the last 8 years, me refining that formula to where it works so freaking well now that it helped us in so many areas. I mean, we tripled digital marketers ad spend, and they were already at a large amount. We did it 2 times. All right. So and then trade secret number 3, you guys are going to love this, how you can work with Facebook's algorithm to create qualified prospects out of thin air. Now, I know that seems a little hypey, but once I explain it, it's going to make entire sense. And all of you are going to be like, ah, okay, now I know what you mean. Because one thing you'll find out about me is I am the furthest from hype. I can't stand hype, and I don't overpromise. Okay. All right. So let's go into trade secret number 1, shall we? I'm really loving the feedback in the comments from everyone here. Really liking, yes, Tracy, guest 6160. Appreciate you guys really coming in here and, you know, participating. It always makes it fun, right? So, you know, 49 minutes in or so, you guys learning? Making sense? Cool. So trade secret number 1, Facebook algorithm has over 400,000 data attributions. We've talked about this, but when you call out your prospect, you're only using one of these 400,000 data points. So my question to you is, why not use your text to set context so you can qualify more data points for a more specific prospect? Because here's what I know. Facebook's algorithm is artificial intelligence. Like it's a very archaic version of AI. And it uses its machine learning, but it also understands languaging and understands context. Literally, Facebook's stuff, their algorithms created a separate language to communicate in because they thought English was too they thought English was too simple and too inefficient. So trust me, they understand English. So if you know that, you can say certain things in your copy that Facebook can act on. Okay, let me tell you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. So this is one of our clients, Chris. He's a rock artist. He's a musician. And this is one of his old ads that did not work very well. Okay, but I want to show you this process here. Okay. So here's what people actually do when they scroll through their newsfeed. Number 1, they scan the top text. They may not even consciously read it, but they subconsciously or consciously, one of the two, they'll scan it. Okay. So they're getting the context, whether they're conscious of it or not. And if they're not getting it consciously, they get it subconsciously, which gives them the feeling in their subconscious mind to go, oh, that's important. You may want to read that again. Okay. So I know that's a lot to understand right there, but just stay with me. They scan the top text for context. Then they glance at the creative, the image. See the number 2 over here? They glance at the image of the video to help decide if what they scanned actually is congruent with the image. Okay. Because humans' brains are all about pattern recognition to decide to see, you know, for survival. That's the pattern recognition part of our brain is the part that's responsible for our survival. Okay, that's why we have the pattern recognition. And so you see a pattern, you see this, and if the image feels like it makes sense according to the text up top, then you continue. So then what they'll do after they check out the image is that they'll go down here and they'll read the below creative headline, which to me, I have a pet peeve that I don't like the fact that Facebook calls a headline, that they call this the headline. Okay, they actually call that in their ads. And it's not the headline. The headline's up top. Like a headline is supposed to be the heading, right? So they use the headline below the creative more as like, it's more of a caption. So the headlines are not here. The headlines are up here where artists and musicians are at. Okay. But what they do is they basically scan this, they look at the image, and then they read the bottom to make sure it's congruent with the top. And if you get all 3 things, you will not freaking believe what you're going to see in terms of the difference in how many people actually stop and start either watching your video or reading your ad. Okay. Because once they do that, then they decide to either watch or read, which means they'll either click play for a video after they've scanned 1, 2, 3, they've scanned all 3. Then they decide to either click play if they're a video watcher, or click the see more link if there is one. Now in this particular case, it's just a bit.ly link that's going to a landing page. But if the copy was longer, it would actually say see more in blue text, and you could click it and it would open up the full ad, right? So then, because of that, they can read the rest. So this is the process that people go through. All right. So when Chris came to us with this ad, he was like, I'm not getting good numbers from this. Like, I'm getting horrible numbers. I was like, yeah, I know. Why is that? And I told him, because you're just trying to call out your audience, artists and musicians. First off, you're not even being clear, because artists could be music, like it could be music artists, but it also could be any other type of artist, not just a musician, or not just a music artist. And so you're using two separate data points, and they're not even related. Like, they're related, but they're not specific. So there's no context there. Could it be artists and musicians? Could it mean painters and musicians? Like, they don't know. So you may actually get people who you don't want to click on the ad, who are only painters, right? Like painting artists, and there's all kinds of artists, right? Art. They may be clicking on it, but then yet it doesn't matter. But see, Facebook is trying to go to artists because that's all the context you set. So they're showing the ad to people who are not musicians, but artists. And maybe musicians too, but it's not specific. Okay? So we want to be specific with the right context, because the lead line only calls out who, but not anything about their challenges or aspirations. There's no other context set, only artists and musicians. So here's the thing I want you to think about. To set context, you need a pain point. You need a challenge to overcome. You need a specific benefit that they get from overcoming that challenge that solves that pain point. And you need some authority or some kind of common bond with that target market to empathize and relate with them. In this case, it can be an authority, right? Because he successfully sells his music as an independent artist. So he has authority, but he didn't say it in here. No one sees that. No one knows that until he tells them in the video. But to get him to watch the video, he's got to set the right context. So this ad didn't work. Here's what it actually turned out to be. I blew it up here for you, but I went and looked, and here's where we have to look at click rates, right? So the CTR all is if they click on anything in the ad, comments, clicking the see more button, clicking play to watch a video, whatever, right? And that basically means the CTR all over here says 1.99, 2.28, 1.89, 2.5. So basically we're averaging about 2% CTR all, which means 2 out of 100 people that the ad is shown to are seeing this ad. Like that they're reading it or watching it. They're clicking on it to engage in it, okay? Now, that's kind of what average Facebook ads get, is 2 or 3% on CTR alls, if you're lucky. And actually, it's more like 1.5 to 2. But it's just, that's not good enough. And that's not going to be good enough as things get more competitive as time goes on with Facebook. What's going to happen over this next year is you're going to start seeing the amateurs get weeded out because they can't make a profit, because they can't get their ads to work, because they don't understand these practices, okay? So be thankful you're here, right? So this is so golden so far. Thanks, Chris. Yep, Carrie, blowing my mind. Yep, thanks, guys. Yep, so stay with me. There's a lot more, okay? We may go just a little past 2 hours at the point we're at here because we had some technical difficulties at the beginning getting us started. So I'll do my best, okay? So we are at, a CTR of 2. And then the link, you want to have your link click-through rate over 1. Well, here he was basically just below 1%, which is not going to be sustainable for you for very long with your ads. You need to be above 1%. In fact, you need to be a lot better, because it's not about being 1% on your link click-through rate. This is just a link now, right? Clicking the link, clicking the learn more button or the link to go to your landing page. If you are only getting less than 1%, then your ad's not going to sustain, because Facebook sees that it's not averaging like what an average ad should do. So it's going to stop showing it over time. And this is also where you'll stop getting impressions, or your cost goes way up, okay? So what's really important is click ratio. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute, but I want you to understand this is how important it is to set the right context up top, okay? And in this one, he blew it. He completely blew it, right? So this is what the algorithm did. I want you to look at this chocolate chip cookie here and imagine it as the algorithm, and all these blue rectangles, those are little data points. Those are data attributions. So the algorithm, this is basically a profile of somebody, right? And I didn't want to put in 400,000 different little data attributions in there. So this is a simplified representation of it for you. But what he did in this ad is he found two separate unrelated data points, which caused the algorithm not to be able to go to one specifically and start building a profile of data points to start optimizing with. Okay? Because when you have both people who are artists that are not musicians that are clicking on your ad, Facebook says, oh, it's relevant to them, but then they're not converting. And then they see musicians and they have people clicking and it is relevant, but it's not much. Because the fact that you've used artists and musicians in the way you did, it's confusing and not a lot of people are clicking. That's why it's only 2%. So what does this do? This is what most people do, right? This is what it does. Facebook cannot show your ad to qualified people because the algorithm, you're limiting the algorithm's ability to optimize because of the data that you have given it through your text, okay? Most try to be very broad in their targeting, which is trying to be everything to everybody. They don't want to miss anything. And in fact, this is the one of the biggest things that cause business owners to fail in their marketing is that they're trying to cast a wide net. Because what actually happens is you're spending all this money on all this wasted ad spend going to the wrong people over here in red, and only a small sliver of them are actually going to convert and actually click on your link and then eventually become a client or a customer. But this is not the formula for a sustaining ad on Facebook because you're burning through a lot of people, and Facebook says this is not that relevant. This is not a lot of people like this ad. Not a lot of people are engaging. Not a lot of people are clicking on it. So we can't continue to show because it's not giving a good user experience. So here's a good example. These short circuiting practices of using really short ads. I'll tell you, both of these companies may be great, right? I just grabbed them in my newsfeed. But what I will say is, you know, they may have a great product. I'm not bashing anything about their product. But what I am saying is they're not setting enough context. They've got usually 1 or 2 lines up top, and then they're trying to get them over to use to get to their funnel to do the rest of the explaining. But the problem is, look, every process, every policy, every procedure for every role, one place. Like, it's not enough. It doesn't talk at all about the problems a business owner has. It doesn't relate, it doesn't empathize, it doesn't show or illustrate a solution that proves to them that your product works so that they want to click. So you're going to get less people clicking on these types of ads. The other one on the right actually doesn't even make sense. Like it just is not setting good context, okay? So you don't want to have short ads like this because this is what's known as more clickbait, where it's curiosity based. You do not want to use curiosity and leave it at curiosity in your ads, because that means the people that are clicking, they're not qualified. So they're clicking out of curiosity. That's the worst type of prospect you want. Sure, you may get cheap clicks, but these people are not qualified and they're not converting. So you're just wasting money. You're coming back to this. So the concept I'm teaching you right here is that doing short ads, these short ads short circuit your ability to set context and pre-qualify people so that Facebook can pre-qualify and show the ad to the right people with the right data profiles. Because every single time someone clicks on this ad, Facebook is logging and looking at all the 400,000 data points that particular Facebook user has. And they're trying to find the common ones. Okay, do they have 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 different, data points that like all these 10 people that clicked, how many of them all have these same common ones? And when they find a common set of data points, the more data, the better. The more specific you can then decide to go show your ad to next, which helps with everything, okay? So, let's make sure here. Understand that curiosity-based stuff is going to give you a very unqualified person, and that's not going to help you in your optimization. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. You want to be able to pre-qualify these people so that you can work with the algorithm and not against it. Okay. All right. So learning so much. I'm brand new when it comes to running ads, but I'm trying to start. Yep, and this system is so great. Right on, right on. Okay, so here's the thing for you to help understand if people are actually going to read and consume that ad that is more than a couple lines. Okay, instead of your cost per click to your link, which sure is relevant, but it's not the important thing. You want to look at your click ratio. And what that is what your CTR all is in relation to your CTR link. So if your CTR all is 5% and your CTR link is 2.5, then that means your click ratio is 2 to 1. It'd be the same thing if your CTR all is 2 and your CTR link is 1. You want to see your click ratio, okay? And the important thing is, if you have a 1-to-1 click ratio where, like, let's say your CTR all is 3 and your CTR link is 3, what that means is they're only clicking once and they're clicking a link, which means they didn't click your video or they didn't click the see more to read the rest of your ad. So you actually want to have a click ratio that says either 2 to 1 on an image ad or 3 to 1 on a video ad. Why on a video? Because they want to click play for 1 click. They want to click see more to read the text. That's 2 clicks, and then click the link. That's 3 clicks, which your CTR all would read 3 and your CTR link would read 1. Okay. And we'll get into deeper stuff there in a second, but I want to show you the difference when you set context. Okay. Setting proper context with more specific elements. So remember the elements I showed you before, these 5. There's more, but I'm just showing you the basics, right? So I use these 5 and I put them into one of our headline formulas, which you may want to write that one down because that's one you can use, right? As a common bond, as a Facebook ad agency, okay, so I say as a Facebook ad agency, that's relevant to people who want to learn Facebook ads. So I'm establishing credibility. I'm an agency, okay? So that's some authority and credibility there. We have witnessed sudden, okay, emotion, algorithm shifts, pain, and here's what we've done to benefit, which is get even better ROI for our clients. Even when, and then challenge, even when everyone else is repeating the same mantra from years past, which is, you know, kind of the same thing everyone talks about. It's the algorithm, not your copy. Like the algorithm shifted, you know, it's the latest optimization hack. And so I want you to look at these click rates real quick. Okay, I'm gonna blow this up for just a moment. It might, yeah. So using that headline with my 5 elements to set good context, look at that, 18.37. So Chris's old ads were like 2% CTR alls. Mine, 18, 19, 14, 14, 14, 12, 12, 12. So the CTR all is now getting, that means 18 out of 100 are actually clicking to either watch this video or read my text. That's 9 times better than the average CTR all of 2 because I set the proper context. And how I know they're reading and watching my video is I look at my ratio. So then I go look at my link click-through rate, 6.12, literally a third of 18.37 with only 1/100th off. So that means they're reading the ad, they're clicking play, and then they're clicking the more here, the blue more, they're clicking that to read the copy. So that's 2 clicks. And then they're clicking the link at the bottom. Isn't that crazy? So that's a perfect click ratio for a video ad. Now, if you have captions, about half the people don't click the ad, they just watch it autoplay, and the other half do. So if your click ratio on a video ad is even 2.5, like 2.5 to 1, you're okay. If you have captions, that tells you that everybody who's starting to interact with the ad is going through and consuming all the content. And if they watch and read everything, that means they now have pre-qualified themselves to be your prospect, which means they're much more likely to convert in the next step. And when that happens, you have much higher opt-in rates, much higher conversion rates, okay? So Does this make sense with click ratios? Let me know in the chat if this makes sense with click ratios. So the conversion rate on this, dying to know. So yeah. So we'll get there in a moment. So that's one of my headline formulas, right? Write that down. So what I've done is now that I'm targeting different specific data points by using pain, challenges, aspirations, I'm getting more to the heart of the matter with the people who it's relevant to. Okay, Richard, incredible. Yep, so good. Yep. See, thank you guys. Okay, so what this means is this gives Facebook enough data to be able to develop a profile of the type of person who is most likely to interact with your ad and convert. But if you don't give them the right data, they can't optimize. And sadly, most Facebook ads, they won't optimize because they don't know how to do this. Guys, this is years of me just figuring this out. I didn't learn from anybody this. I had to go off of a gut feeling and start testing this. And working the first few years was kind of in the shooting in the dark, trying to figure it out. And this algorithm is only moving more towards this at an exponential rate. And it's getting easier and easier for us. Okay. So when you have someone who's super qualified, that's more likely to read your ad, then all of a sudden your relevance scores, your user experience, all that goes up. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because once that happens, then your ad starts getting preferential treatment in the auction, and your costs go down, and you get better converting people. Okay, so here's an example. I took another screenshot. I didn't get a chance to get it in here, but this is just from like a workshop I did like a month ago, and 91, like basically 80% opt-in rate. Right now, the other one I have is actually 90%, and it's like a lot more for people who come in and opt in. I actually think, let me see here. I think I may actually have that here, but that's what happens is these people are so much better pre-qualified that you start your opt-in rates go much higher. And of course, guys, like these leads, yeah, maybe they cost a little more. Like mine are usually around $5 per webinar registrant. Like a lot of you saw this ad, right? This is the one I use. It's been running for 6 months. Like I've been running it for like 7 or 8 months every time I do a workshop. Okay. But let me show this. So I'm going to put this one on here. I know you guys can't see this, but let me save that and let me do this for you. I'm gonna show you guys this new one, and then we'll keep moving. It is right here. So let me show you this. Let me put this right here. Okay, and you're gonna freak out. All right. So this is the latest one. All right. So this is just from yesterday. I took this screenshot, and a lot more. So it's like we ran, 362. We ended up having close to 400 or 500 people something register for this workshop. I'm getting 9 out of 10 people registering. This is my I use ClickFunnels. We're a big advocate, and that's my ClickFunnels tracking. And guys, have you ever heard of an 80 or a 90% opt-in rate? What's the average for the industry? What's the average? It's about, you guys can tell me in the chat if you know what the average opt-in rate that gurus tell you is good. What do they tell you? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat what the gurus say that is a good opt-in rate. Some of you know. Yeah. Well, the conversion rate 1.55, that's for sales. But if I'm talking about opt-in rates, usually 20 to 30%. Krishan was exactly right on 20 to 30%. All right. 20 to 30% is, and yep, guest, yep, you were right too. Like 20%, 20 to 30% is average. So I'm 3xing that. and if it was 3 to 4xing that, all right? Because of having a quality ad that goes to the right people, setting the right context to the right people who are more likely to interact here. We have a very high attendance rate right now. And why is that? Because I'm very relevant with everything I'm doing, because I'm using this methodology, being specific about things when I need to be specific, where most marketers fall short. Gurus who have made their millions in the old internet, when it was, banner ads and email advertising and things like that, they try to apply all of that stuff to social media. Their curiosity-based hooks, trying to get the cheapest click, all those things. And you know what happens? There's for so long, because social media is in its infancy in the way that the best practices have been utilized, is that all they're doing is using their old methods, but because they've had all this success, people assume they're doing it on social media. And in fact, they're just using their credibility and sailing by on credibility. But it may work, it works okay, but it doesn't work the way this does. We have a superior method. Because I didn't make my fortune in the traditional internet before social media. I made mine in social media. I lived and breathed Facebook, and only Facebook. This is where I consider myself to be on the forefront of this particular type of marketing. Okay. So a few other quick headline formulas for you, right? Could a common bond ultimate benefit after pain by challenge time frame? Could an introverted college dropout, that's the common bond, a lot of people relate with that, triumph in life, which is the ultimate benefit, after being misled is the pain, by the challenge, by his guidance counselor for years, time frame. Look at the click ratio, 10.74 to 3.85, 3-to-1 ratio with a video. Okay, so that was Anton, and he was selling a course on how to connect with influencers. Okay, let me show you one for digital marketer, Ryan Dice. A lot of you may know who that is. So how we turn pain, which is a one-hit wonder campaign, into a ideal scenario benefit customer factory. Okay, customer factory, cool, right? That ultimate benefit endlessly generates new customers and repeat buyers without the challenge. And the challenge is being in perpetual testing mode. Okay. This works so freaking well. And we're not on their account now for me to be able to get a screenshot of the click ratio because we served as a transition agency for them. And then we gave it back to their internal agency. And I don't have a screenshot, but I'll tell you, this is one of the best converting ads they've ever had. And they still run a lot of our ads, and it's been, 7-8 months since we stopped running their ads. They still run some of our ads. So we have a repository of those. Okay, so real quick, another one for real estate agents, for local, right? And we haven't talked much about that because this works just as well and have done it for physical products and local businesses and professionals, right? Here's how homeowners avoid owning 2 homes at once. Okay, so here's how common bond homeowners avoid pain owning 2 homes at once or even being homeless. Okay, that's serious pain when someone's buying a house and trying to sell a house at the same time. When mechanism, their transaction, goes off the rails, becomes a challenge. Okay, so becomes challenge translates to goes off the rails. I tried to find a way to say it that's cool, right? An analogy in a buyer's market, which is a part of the challenge. Our benefit fixes this, right? Our guaranteed sale program fixes this. This worked incredibly well for him. And before he was having to get leads for like a couple $100, and this knocked it down to like 20. So cut it by 9/10. Because we didn't do this, hey, you looking to sell your home? Like stop looking like everybody else. Please, for the love of humanity and everything holy, please stand out and look different. Do something different. Don't be a copycat robot, right? So here's something I want you to understand about context. So some people, have heard us talk about, and I talk about in my video, like if you're targeting with text, right, then how important is targeting? I will say it is important, but it's not always as important as people think. So this is Roderick. Roderick is a part of our group. He's a code member, and he ran a test just recently where he has 2 ads, and it says here, you can kind of read here at the bottom here. He said, it says BANT. I know it's really hard to read right now, right? So I can't make it much bigger, but this one up top that he has checked, and then the second from the bottom, they both say BANT in them, and BANT stands for broad audience, no targeting. So that basically means he's using an age group and a country, and that's it. There's no targeting in there. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is the 3 in between that are all interest targeting. But the CTR alls are kind of interesting because in the interest targeting, you have 6, 5, 4 in your CTR alls. But then in the BANTs, where he wasn't constrained by small interests with small audiences, Facebook was able to be smart enough to use the text context that's said in the ad to go find the right people. And here's what the CTR alls were for the BANTs. The one that's for just 18 to 39, just an age group, 7.76. It beat all of the interest targeting. And then the one up top, which is 40 to 65, 14.51 CTR all percent. Literally double any of the interest targeting ones. Twice as many people are clicking on to consume the ad versus the interest targeting. So what people actually do too much is they do this laser targeting. You gotta target in with a specific audience and talk specifically to them. Well, the problem is that audience is usually pretty small and it burns out fast. You can't scale there. And if it's small, then Facebook doesn't have the freedom to be able to go find the right people because you're limiting the algorithm to be able to do its work. So what do is we usually use larger audiences. I mean, our audience is usually between like 5 to 30 million, on the small side, 5 million. And because we let the algorithm do the heavy lifting and we just target through our text. Now, he even said here, the top one is broad audience, no targeting, so no reason it won't just keep going thanks to code. And he says the second bottom, actually different age groups. So you can see here, this is just one example of many where targeting with text, right? Where the algorithm reads your copy and starts to understand who, beyond all the targeting constraints, who to show the ad to, okay? And we've done this with new accounts where the pixel, it has not seen a lot of conversions. It's not very trained. It doesn't know who to go to. And we've seen this with a lot of accounts like that. So what happens when you use this methodology? What does this really mean? It really means you're setting context and it helps qualify the prospects so Facebook's machine learning can find more qualified users. And it's a cascading effect. Better qualified prospects, less wasted ad spend, higher conversion rates, sustainable ads, foundation for scaling. So what am I going to do here? Matt, are we all good? All right. So here's a quick one for you. So Robin came into the group. Honestly, I'm amazed by this course. I prefer to adapt the concept and avoid following a script. Here's the results. That's a lead magnet campaign and pre-launch setup. 63% conversion rate on the landing page. Remember I showed you guys mine, 80 and 90%? He is just taking our templates and then adapting the methodology, not even using everything, getting a 63% conversion rate on the landing page. Never seen that. And then you look at his actual numbers. The CTR all, 17, 16, 15, 21, 14, 9. You don't see numbers like this anywhere else. And the CTR link, 6, 6, 5, 8. Like they're perfect, like pretty much almost perfect, give or take just a little bit on each side, 3-to-1 ratios. Like that's what happens inside our code group, people using our templates, okay? So is all of this making sense so far? And Jorgen, I get in Norway, you only have 5 million people, but you're pretty much going to need to open that up a lot more than you have been before and let the algorithm do the heavy lifting for you. Okay. So basically, Jorgen says, so basically Facebook algorithm is smarter than the manual targeting given correct contextual data is provided. Yes, absolutely. Yep. So BANT basically stands for broad audience, no targeting, Carrie. How long have I done Facebook? I've been doing it since you could run ads back in 2011. So you guys ready for trade secret number 2? That's just one. You guys can stay with me here. We're going to breeze through them a lot faster, but we got 2 more. You guys good with me? Is it okay if I go a few minutes past the 2 hour to finish this training out for you and then give you our offer? Is that okay? Sweetness. Thank you, thank you. Right on. Mega. Right on. Okay, so let me teach you about the engagement continuum. It's a simple concept, but I want you to understand it. Okay. All right, ready, good to go, all good, cool, cool, okay. Thank you, thank you. So good. Start, yes, yes, yes. Sweet, sweet. Pure gold, awesome. Sweet. Okay, so this is the old way. The old way is from before pre-social media, which people tried to take into the social media world. This is how everyone's been taught to do this, is to take an ad, and it's a very short ad. It's curiosity based. Send them to a landing page that pretty much has nothing but an opt-in, on it with very, very little information, which Facebook hates, by the way. And then get them to your sales message, where your sales message and your follow-up process does 90% of all the heavy lifting in the selling. So that's the way it's been going on for years. And I still talk to direct response marketers now who never really use social media, that are like, now they're trying to, and they come to me and say, look, I'm getting, I can't get a cheap enough cost per click. It's not working out. These leads aren't converting, the glory days are gone. And I'm like, no, the glory days are yet to come, because it's even better, but you have to learn how to work with the algorithm. I say, stop paying attention to your cost per click, because it doesn't matter. You're going to pay twice as much for a qualified lead, but they're going to convert 3 to 5 times better. Does that make sense? Do the math there. Let's say you pay $2 for a lead, and they make you 3. Okay, cool. 50% return on ad spend. But if you pay $4 for a lead, so you double your cost, but then you make $12, now you're tripling your return on ad spend. And that's the difference when you have qualified people. All things being equal, just think about how many people convert in your sales process from a 30% opt-in rate. What if you gave them 60% for the same cost? Right? What is 60% opt-in rate for the same cost, just by doing a better ad? You would basically cut your cost per acquisition in half, because you'd have twice as many people for the same cost going through your funnel, even if your conversion stayed the same, which they get better. So let's keep going. All right. So here's what we do instead. We write long ads that do all the pre-qualifying and the pre-selling, that go to the cart page, and then we do some retargeting. And of course, yes, we have email follow-up if that's the case, if that's the type of funnel we're going to. But this is one of our scenarios where we'll go directly to sell. I'll show you some of that. But the difference is we do a lot of it here, because we're now giving Facebook the data at once. Now, this is very counterintuitive. Why? Because people are trying to do whatever they can to get the click, to get someone to their website. And they're trying so hard to do that by hook or crook, by doing curiosity-based stuff or whatever. And they're afraid to lose somebody, so they're doing everything they can to coerce and manipulate someone into clicking over to their landing page. But they're shooting themselves in the foot and sabotaging their own funnel. Why? Because they're getting unqualified people, which then Facebook can only go off of those unqualified people, not allowing them to optimize for qualified people. I hope that made sense, what I just said. So, all right. So We do most of the heavy lifting with a long engaging ad that educates and pre-qualifies the customer. The lead cost can be higher, but it converts better. So, we may go to an opt-in, like this is, and then go to an offer where you don't have to do all the selling. That's the thing. You don't have to go hire up a copywriter to create you a long 30-minute video sales letter, or, to hire them to write a long copy sales letter. Like, if you do a lot of the pre-selling and pre-qualifying in your ad, then your sales page where your actual offer is at, whatever your offer is, whether you're a local business, whether you're selling a physical product, whether you're selling a digital product, whatever, you don't have to do as much. You don't have to try so hard. All right. So that helps. All right. Bring more of that message to the newsfeed. So even here, like the webinar, right? I gave you guys a 20-minute video. So here's something that's going to blow your mind. That 20-minute video that you guys watch. Now remember, it's a 20-minute video inside the Facebook newsfeed. I'm getting 90% opt-in rates. My costs are $5, usually, around there. Okay. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes 3.5. So with the ad, I basically taught you so much of what we were going to go over today. And then when we got on the webinar here, the 40%, you see, then I'm just going deeper. So instead of giving curiosity, making you to want to click, not knowing what you're going to get, I gave you a full 20-minute video on what you're going to expect to be on this webinar, to be on this live training. And because of that, you're more engaged. There's more people here. Because now I'm given so much even more here because I have to indoctrinate you into a whole new philosophy and methodology, right? So I can't even be short on my webinar because I have to explain a lot more of this to you because this is a whole new thing. This is a complete paradigm shift, right? So what does the ad look like? Well, I showed you guys earlier, this was the ad, right? This is the ad I use, and it's 20 minutes. Now, here's the crazy thing about this ad, this 20-minute video. The average, does anyone know the average completion rate of a video on Facebook? Go ahead and put it in the chat if you know what the average video watch completion rate is on Facebook. For the sake of time, I'll tell you, it's about 2 to 3%. And if you go to how many people watched 95% of your video, it's about 4%. Now, the crazy thing is that most videos, because Facebook recommends it, because it's their own agenda, that you do a 15-second video. So most videos are 15 seconds to 30 seconds, and most of them get about a 4% completion rate. Do you know what mine is? Well, remember, mine's a 20-minute video. Mine at 95% is a 4% completion rate. Not 15 seconds, not 30 seconds, not a minute, 20 minutes. Still 4% completion rate at 95% watch. All right. So, Iwan, you were close at 5. So 4%. Now I got that with 20 minutes. So what does that tell you? I'll tell you exactly what it means. The people who are relevant, that are pre-qualified, that are ready, that want to hear your stuff, are going to watch it all the way to the end, regardless of how long it is. So why would you only give a little bit of content, which gives a bad user experience, when you can give a lot and get a good user experience? If you knew you were going to keep that same 4% all the way through, would you take a minute to pre-qualify people, or would you take 10 minutes? Because you know that in 10 minutes, you can do a lot more pre-qualifying, a lot more pre-selling, a lot more value giving, a lot more relating, a lot more empathizing. So I run this is a 20-minute ad. I run it all the time. So I want you to understand that about Facebook's algorithm. It's still the same. So that's why I can do this with a 20-minute video and still be effective. How do you get people to watch longer? if your content is relevant with the right context, and obviously if your content is educational, people are going to watch it. So all I'm saying is you can have a 15-second video where you're going to get 4% completion rate, or you can have a 20-minute video where you can do all your pre-qualifying and everything else like I do, and boom, here you are. Here you are. It worked. You were the ones that you here were the ones that watched it. Most of you. Some of you just read the copy, right? This is 4%. So here's what we did for Kimberly, right? So a lot of you have been wondering about this one. A lot of you have been really wondering about this one. Kimberly had a $9 offer. We talked about this in some of our emails. I'm going to show you how this works. So this is her actual ad, okay, that's still running, and she hasn't turned off for more than almost 7 months. Well, it's the same exact one. She's done a few iterations of it with different images, okay? But look how long this is. There's an exact, precise formula to this. We're even templatizing this to use this with our templates that you will have access to if you pick up our offer. So, exactly, Richard. I like it. Show you are an authority, engage people, create interest and value, just like Chris did for his video to get us here. Yeah, Carrie goes, wow, that's long. Yeah, exactly. And this is the other counterintuitive thing. You wouldn't think people would read this. You wouldn't think. So watch this. So that's the ad, okay? And this just goes to a $9 content calendar printout. That's what it is. Highly engaging content, like a content planner. $9, right? So it's her sales page where she doesn't have to do a lot of selling. It's just kind of like, hey, here's all the things you get. What you gonna learn? So it's a content planner along with some teaching lessons on how to use it. Okay. So testimonial, social proof, you know. So there you go, right? Well, here's what I want you guys to see. So this is right after we wrote the ad, okay, back in September. Just want to say thank you again for all the incredible insight. This stuff is life-changing. Chris and I are beyond grateful and excited to go to town this week to implement all of it. By the way, in less than 24 hours, we're already getting $4 sales to our front-end offer from an ice-cold audience and a few upsells too from the ad you guys wrote for us, winning. So you really can't see this. I'll see if I can blow this up, but it's like, oh no, because that was from the email. So it's $4 per sale, right? So, oh yeah, here it is. Let me blow it up. So this was like right off the bat that she showed me in the email. So it was only 4 purchases, but then what happened is that it ended up staying at this cost. So cost per website purchase, $4.17. $4.17 to that $9 offer. So that means basically for every buyer, she's making $5 and she's generating a buyer lead. And these people are buyers. They're more qualified. They're willing to spend money. So they're going to upgrade at a higher rate. And she's getting paid to generate leads. So then she says, I haven't even made changes to the sales page. Josh is the one that helped write the copy. Can you tell I'm excited? All right, how can I get access to code? So check this out. So then I check in with her last month. And I say, thanks for checking in. She says, the ad you guys wrote for us is ridiculous. Since Seattle, we've only had to update the creative one time, and number of testimonials, which was the one you saw here. Emails from students thanking us for the course, and the growth you've experienced has been way more than I could have hoped for. I've been quiet the last few months, but only because I've been hard at work. So check this out. So still implementing all the awesome changes you guys suggested without even completely optimized funnel. We've gone from 275 members to almost 900 members in the business lounge. Now the business lounge is their upsell to their recurring subscription membership, right? For like $100 a month, something like that. She's like, what, is this real life? So I kind of kept like some of the same text, so you know this is just a continuation of the email, okay? So that's, you've read these first two paragraphs. Then she continues, says, since September, we've had 6,610 orders on the intro offer. 6,600 orders on the intro offer. We 4x'd our maximum recurring revenue to close to 40K per month, and we're consistently hitting 50 to 60K a month in profits. Had to hire a new support person because we're experiencing so much growth. It's been amazing. Thank you guys for all your help. You've changed my business in every way possible. Couldn't be more grateful to you. So, how did we do that? This has completely changed her business. Let me explain to you our formula, okay? My Epic ad formula. Engage, present, illustrate, convert. It's an acronym, EPIC, EPIC. Engage with proper context. Present the problem and empathize. Illustrate the solution, and then convert, call to action, okay? This is the same 4-step process we use for every single video we create, for every single ad we create. And we use the same process in our sales messages, okay? All the time, always epic. Always epic, okay? Once you internalize this framework, it's gonna get cool, okay? So here's what the main points of it are. So in the engage, you saw where I had those 5 headline elements. Now for you, I would want you to focus pretty much on like, you know, identify the problem or the pain of your client, identify the benefit that your solution gives them, meet and talk about and overcome that challenge. All right, so you just want to literally address these in your headline, in your engage part. So to me, the engage is the headline. Okay, so we're engaging them. First headline before we paragraph break, and then the mechanism of the solution. Okay, so you'll see this. You just see these examples. The next part is present. Empathize by walking them through their main painful scenario, so it becomes real to them and that they see that you understand them. You can relate. You know what it feels like. You understand their pain. All right. Once you do that, then you illustrate the solution. You walk them through a process that illustrates your solution, or at least you give a list of things that they can do or that they are going to get if they move forward. So you give them some meat. You give them some prove it, right? Prove them something. Okay. Then the convert part, where you reveal your offer, you be transparent about it. Look what I did, guys, right? First thing I got on, I was like, hey guys, we have an offer for you. All right. If you want to get that, you know, we'll give it to you after we finish the training portion. You know, I was being transparent about it. And then I'm even, you know, telling you, hey, I'm bribing you. I'm ethically bribing you so that if you listen to our offer, then we'll give you that free template. Some of you will choose to want to join us in our coaching program. Some of you will not. It's okay. But either way, as a thank you for you showing up, we're going to give you that template, but you've got to listen to our full training and our offer. Okay. So with Kim, here's what happened. Okay. Watch this. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Okay. This is the engage. How my content calendar system takes content creators from endless brainstorm mode to routinely rolling out hard-hitting content without creating new stuff every day. It's kind of our simplest headline formula. How to, you know, how this mechanism creates this benefit, or takes common bond out of pain to benefit, hard-hitting content without challenge, right? And then we go into the present. After managing over 200 social media profiles, I found that the single biggest roadblock they face is being able to organize a system that routinely rolls out highly engaging content, all while trying to manage the promotion and the business side of things. And it's not just me who knows this to be true. So we're presenting the problem, right? And we're empathizing, talking about what it takes. And then we give our first offer to go there to read the rest. That's why right here, we go into the illustrate. This is why I want to share with you my exact step-by-step process to create a system that routinely rolls out content to drive high levels of engagement and traffic with content creators, bloggers, online entrepreneurs. So you don't have to blow hours on end brainstorming content ideas and creating new content from scratch. So basically, we unpacked the challenge a little bit more from what it was up here, creating new stuff every day, right? So basically, we're given a preview of all of our elements, and then we unpack them more into our ad. So you don't have to blow our, so we're actually like saying it in a more specific way that paints a picture. Okay. So that's our present, and then going into the illustrate. Got one link for people who are ready. We call those the divers. They're ready to dive right in. This is why I created this on demand, go at your own pace. And then we give a breakdown of all the things they're going to get. Look at that. That's the illustrate. And then we go into the convert, because this is still the illustrate, you know, so that you can do all these things. And then we go into, we got another link up here. These are the waders, people that kind of don't dive right in, but they kind of walk out the water until waist deep and then they jump in. So those are those people, right? These two links. And then we go into the convert. Now, normally we go into our price justification. Got another link. And then we go into our risk reversal in terms of making it sound like, hey, you're at more risk if you don't pick this up, right? And then we give the guarantee, you know, the 14 days or I'll buy the course back from you. And then the last call to action. Okay, so now obviously that is a very simplified way of doing it, and there is more deeper psychology that I will not have time to show you, but that's what our templates do, is our templates are fill in the blank for all the exact psychology that it needs for someone to make a decision. This is how we sell from the newsfeed. Okay, so how you guys liking this so far? Let me know if you're liking this, and Matt, you can text me if there's anything I need to know. So probably should have had a direct communication somewhere. Richard falling off my chair. Loving it. Perfect. Okay. You guys are appreciating this. I mean, I'm doing a lot here. Like I said, you guys would pay hundreds of dollars to get specific actionable training like this. Okay. Right. So let's keep going. All right. So then we did this same thing with Chris. Manifest. You guys saw his ad earlier, so he came to us and I showed you how bad his ad was. I have to tell you now how good it got, because now we did his ad and he got featured by Facebook as a success story. Because what we did is we actually helped him sell his CDs, his albums, compact discs through Facebook, selling them right through Facebook, free plus shipping offers, okay? Where he got 1.9x return on ad spend, so he's basically doubling his money. He got a 25% increase in streaming music from Spotify and Pandora and YouTube and Apple, and a ton more, you know, over 1,000 new customers. So here's what we did with his ad. Right here. We wrote an ad, and then this one was going to a Spotify thing, but basically it was going to a $37 offer where he was teaching other independent artists, because he has two sides of his business. One is where he sells his music, and the other side is where he teaches independent music artists to market their music like he does, because he does not have a record deal, right? But he makes 6 figures a year selling his music. And so we were selling Spotify profits, just showing artists how to get their music on Spotify. It was a $37 offer. It was costing 24 bucks to make that $37 sale. So he's making 12 bucks every single time. Oh, and we had a $100 upsell over here. And that made basically every time someone bought, every sale was average order value was about 60 bucks. So he was paying $24 to make 60 every single time. So I just want you to understand how powerful these long copy ads are. I want to show you the ad. When we stopped using the video, we used just the copy. We were able to get $33 per sale compared to 28 with the video. So not as good, but it still works. It's still getting a profit, right? Because the $37 is the break-even point for the front-end product. So we were making sales for 33, so you're still making $4, right? Well, I mean, this is crazy. Well, here's what the ad is, right? So why getting paid for your online streams is 10 times easier than trying to sell your album from stage, and how you can get paid every time fans listen to your song, all right? So notice down here, he says how I earned this amount from online streams in 2017. And that's just from the streams, not from all of his CD sales and everything else. But people are like, well, how can you give a money claim? Well, that's the cool thing, guys, because a lot of people don't understand this. People think you can't give money claims. You can, but it has to be a personal result. And you can't say to somebody that they can do that same result. All we said here was, here's how I did it. Here's how I did this amount. So we're just teaching you how. You can't say, and how you can too. You say that, you're done. You're against Facebook policy. But all we did was write the ad. I'm going to see if I can blow this up as much as possible. And we basically just wrote a quick epic ad. Okay. Now here's the cool thing. Here's what you guys get. The template that you guys get free today after listening to our offer, you're going to get the template that's derived from this winning ad. So I'm going to do what I can to finish up here real soon and get you guys the offer. Okay. And why are we dragging this out so long? So I'll tell you why. Because I'm actually giving you real value. Because I'm actually giving you stuff you can actually use, implement it. If you don't understand that, and if you're not thankful for the fact that I'm giving you so much for free, then please get the heck off of this webinar. All right? I don't want to see that. That's crazy. If you've been paying attention the whole time to what this is and how deep I'm going and helping you here, you'll realize that you would spend hundreds of dollars, if not more, to learn the same stuff. So if you don't appreciate it, please go somewhere else and don't bring your negativity here, whoever you are, guest 8120. Okay? Thank you. So this is what happened. He got featured by Manifest, all right? He got featured by Facebook. He's got a plaque, all right? Cool stuff, all right? So that's cool. That's really cool, all right? So here's somebody from our group that they were using this template, right? This training was ridiculous. The client was getting these leads between $18 and $24 and was happy with that. I made these last night. They're targeting financial advisors to sell leads and training. I'm using the same lead magnet with the same opt-in page, only the ad copy is different. Look at the cost, $2.59 per lead. They were getting $18 to $24 before, now they're getting $2.59. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Using the templates. So, all right, here's what I'm going to do for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and have Matt, go ahead and drop the offer links. Just so if you guys, I want to be able to stay in integrity here, and I said that I'd get everything in 2 hours. So before I even tell you what the offer is, I'm going to have Matt go ahead and put the link to our payment options page, where we have our offer that's going to give you our full repository of all of our ad templates, our 22 different headline formulas, all of our 18 social rules of engagement, how we optimize our setup and optimization process, all of that. He's going to go ahead and put that link in there. If you really want that and you're ready and you're already sold and you know that this is the best thing you've ever seen, which I agree with you, then you can go pick that up right now. Okay, he's going to go ahead and put that in there. All right. Thank you, Matt. I very much appreciate it. Okay. So for those of you who are sold and ready to go ahead and grab it, and welcome to the family. We'll see you inside our Facebook group, which we use for only our paid members that buy this course. Okay. It's called Code to Conversions. So now I'm going to continue on with the training if that's cool for all you guys, right? All right. So trade secret number 3. You guys ready for it? Trade secret number 3. It's going to be a lot shorter. This one's going to be just a few minutes. We call this casting your pole in blue oceans. Casting your pole in blue oceans rather than red oceans. Okay. Now, the reason I say this is how you create pre-qualified prospects out of thin air. Now, a very few small number of marketers know how to do this, and they don't talk about it a lot because it's very hard to master. It is a more advanced thing to do, okay? But we've got processes for it, and you may not be able to do it from the first day you try, but you go through and follow these templates and follow these processes, and you will learn how to do this, okay? And you will be able to do it. So the thing that's important to understand here is here's these what we call the 5 states of awareness. Okay, so there was this genius copywriter named Eugene Schwartz back in the 60s who wrote a book called Breakthrough Advertising. That book is now like hundreds of dollars. If you can find it, it's out of print. He had a concept in here that he created. He had a lot of things that he had concepts that there were no names for, that he had to give names for because they hadn't been invented yet, right? He was so ahead of his time, right? I love Eugene Schwartz. And so his biggest one that he's known for is his 5 states of awareness, which is people who are at a different awareness level in terms of how aware they are of your product or you or the problem and all of that. So let me walk through this real quick. So there's five types. The first one is someone who's basically like, well, let's go from the top, right? So I do from 1 to 5, but I'm gonna start with 5. I'm gonna work on down the way. So the first one is someone who's unaware of the problem or the solution. Okay, so that's someone that doesn't know they have a problem, doesn't know there's a solution for it because they don't even know there's a problem. So these people are typically your ad trainers and gurus will tell you to never, ever target people like this because they don't know how to do it. Okay, they're unaware of the problem or the solution. So it's like someone who, like, let's take a chiropractor, right? Chiropractor is trying to market to someone. That's like trying to market to someone who doesn't have back pain, doesn't have an aching back. And so that's really tough to do. So as a chiropractor, it may not be the easiest thing to do. But if they have an aching back, then you can talk to them because they're problem aware, all right? But they may not know the solution. That means they know they have a problem, but they're not aware of the solution, which could be chiropractic care or something else, right? Because they may, at that point, with their back, wonder if they just need to take a pill or if they need to get surgery or if they need a personal trainer. You know, they don't know. So they're not aware of the right solution. So you can meet people at problem aware, which is the best thing to do for Facebook, and educate them about your solution and why you are better and the one to choose. So that's cool, right? But unaware, you probably couldn't use for chiropractor. However, other things you can. If someone has a problem, like let's say I was selling software, right, that was helping people understand that they had a problem, and I had to educate them about the problem first. And eventually I told them a story where they realized they did have a problem. And then I presented the solution of my blogging software, my training software, and how their life could change because of it, which is the solution. And a lot of people bought it. It's an ad that I wrote. I spent like $6 grand on it, made me over 110 grand over the course of 12 months. But that's people who are unaware of the problem or the solution. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let me finish this first. So you got people who are unaware of the problem or the solution. Super hard to go to, and most trainers will never tell you how to actually do this. Problem aware are people that have a problem, and this is great because then you can educate them about the solution. The issue with traditional marketing is not education-based or value-based. It's all hype and promises. So there's no real meat or value given. So you're not proving it and putting proof in the pudding of what you have to offer somebody. And so therefore, oftentimes traditional marketers also say, don't use this, don't go to problem aware. They tell you to go to only solution aware. People who are aware of the solution already. So, you know, someone who's a chiropractor in this same scenario might say, well, if they're aware that they need a chiropractor, then your message changes. And this is why I'm teaching you this right now, because at each level of awareness, your message is dramatically different. Because here, you have to focus on why you're better than the other chiropractors and what you do differently. Whereas a problem aware message, someone who may not be aware that chiropractic is the solution, and you have to say, look, here's how we fix, aching backs that have this kind of pain that sometimes give joint pains, that manifests in your feet and your knees and all this other stuff, right? It could be that your spine's off and you need spinal alignment, which is what a chiropractor does. Here's how they do that, and this is what it actually does. And here's the effects it does. Like, that's all education, letting them know, like, this is why chiropractic is an option. This is why chiropractic is the solution for you who have back pain. Okay. That's the gold spot of Facebook that you can't do on other platforms. Okay. So solution aware is where most of your gurus and ad trainers are going to tell you to go, where you go and compete in the red ocean with everybody else. Now, I'm not saying red ocean to where you should never use solution aware type messaging or go to people who are aware of the solution, because you absolutely still need to do that. But our code methodology gives you a more compliant ad that works better, that reaches people and helps you differentiate yourself so that you can compete with all of the other sharks out there so that your ad wins. So then let's say that now they know the solution The next level of awareness is they're aware of you or your product. So in the case of a chiropractor, you're product aware, they now know who you are and what your product is. I do decompression therapy. I do this type of, chiropractic care. I do spinal manipulation, like whatever it is, because I know there's different type of chiropractors. That's a whole other world, right? But now they're product aware. So that's good, because then you still want to, they're aware of it, but they're not sold. So that means you've got to do more selling. You've got to do more like, here's what you get, here's the deal, here's the details, here's the social proof, here's my other clients, here's testimonials, all that stuff, right? And then the last deal, which is we wish we had more people like this, they're basically sold. They just need the price and terms. They need the deal. They need to know. So let's talk about how you can address each one of these, okay? So a lot of you have products that people are not aware that they even have a problem for. And before, you may have thought, damn, I can't actually use that. I can't actually go to these people because they don't know anything about it. But if you know how to tell the proper story, true story, and do that effectively, then you can do it, okay? So you want to show them they have a problem, show them what life can be like without the problem. But first, you have to educate them on the problem itself, okay? We had a supplement to help with leaky gut, and we had to tell people, like, look, you may have leaky gut. Like, essentially the message was like, here's what people, here's the common symptoms that people don't realize is leaky gut. Brain fog, fatigue, having to take antacids all the time. Like, you more than likely, if you have these things, your actual problem is leaky gut. And so we need to explain to you what leaky gut is, what that does, and then explain to you how we fix it. Right? Because you've now made them problem aware. Now you use your problem aware message where you address the problem, educate them on why your solution solves the problem. So you would be taking people from either unaware or problem aware and bringing them down through this process all the way to where they're sold and just need the price and terms. That's how the messaging system works. That's how you close. That's how you actually make sales. Okay. So you'll see that like every level of awareness is in Kim's ad and Chris's ad when it comes down to this. You can see all 5 of them in there. So solution aware, this is your unique selling proposition. This is your argument for why your solution is best solution out of all the other competing solutions. That's where most marketers are. And yes, it's you can still be very successful there, especially with our superior code templates, but it's not like, this is easier because you can go create new people who didn't have a problem before. You can go create new people by telling them they have a problem and then educating them on the solution. Okay, so that's where you create people on demand, because you have an ad that tells this story and then it runs and it starts educating people who will listen. And if you can get these high click rates like we teach you to do by setting proper context, then you can start creating new people out of thin air that were not a prospect before, that no other ad trainer, that no other guru is ever going to tell you to target. In fact, they would tell you not to target them because they're not your prospect. And I would argue differently. Just use templates. So then we get to people who are aware of you, right? So they're like, all right, I get what you're selling, but I'm not sold yet. Well, you got to talk about what you do different, just like up top here. You have to show results. You got to prove it. You got to have testimonials. You got to have your guarantees, right? You got to have your social proof, any case studies possibly, depending on what your offer is, right? And so once you get there, that's when people make a decision. So then you just have to give them the right price and terms. They need the deal. So is this making sense to everybody? That's what I want to know. Let me know in the chat if this is making sense. Okay, these are great for a service. No, Vera, don't do that. No. She says, but I can't figure but help. These are great for a service, but I'm selling a low value common item, kids' shoes, and need higher conversion rates. No, we do this, these templates. What I'm showing you today is a very small fraction of what we use. We have been able to successfully, in our agency, using what we show in our product that you get access to, can sell anything. Physical products, freaking t-shirts, physical products, info products like shoes like that, you can do that all day. Yeah, easy. Love that. So there you go, Vera. All right. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Cool, guys. Makes sense, makes sense. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, okay, okay. So let me give you an example here. So here's a problem-aware ad, all right? Problem-aware ad that Irina actually wrote, and it was selling a book. So it's a physical product, right? So it's a book, okay? And she told a story. If I've learned anything from scaling Facebook ads in the last 8 years that sustained steady ROI, it's certainly this. Algorithm changes have very little to do with it. Well, this is an 800-word ad telling her personal story about it. So what she was able to do is tell her story, use all the epic elements. This is the second page, right? First call to action here. And the third page here, about 800 words. And it went to selling a friend of ours a book. And it's actually the #1 bestseller for Keith. His book, basically a Facebook advertising book. And we helped him make it a bestseller. And he actually had to turn the ads off recently because he ran out of books because we sold too many of them. We made sales for 15 bucks, but he had a funnel that actually every time someone bought, he had an upsell for like 90 bucks that made him around 60 bucks, 55 bucks for every order. And you can see we've made like 1,000 sales there. Close. And this is a screenshot from a while ago. It's more than that now. And so what I'm saying here is she had to meet them at the problem, which was the problem is scaling Facebook ads. Someone who's problem aware and they're like, what the heck? Why can't I scale my ads? And she said, okay, here's what it's not. Algorithm changes very little to do with it. In our agency, we've been using a certain method to double or even triple return on ad spend for our clients. It's not some secret code that hacks the system or ghost setting in the ads manager that nobody's telling you about. What I'm about to share with you has been around for quite a few years, works even better with today's algorithm changes. So she went into her whole story talking about how she screwed up getting $100 clicks, not leads, clicks, really bad. And so she's empathizing, presenting the problem, talking through her story. And people are like, I want to know how she won. I want to know how this happened. And this is a true story, her perspective of it. Okay. And you can take any story that's relevant to it and offer your perspective of it. Because the story, the magic of it is your perspective of it, not actually what happened. So we talk about that in our epic story module. All right. So with that, let's wrap up for a minute, okay? 5 truths of Facebook ads instead of fallacies. So you remember originally we had the 5 fallacies. First one was, cheapest cost per lead. Instead, you want to get the highest qualified lead no matter the price because they convert better. The old way would pay $2 to make 3. Or in the new way, with our way, as a hypothetical, you would pay 3 and you'd make 7 or 8. So that's okay because it's more money for you, although people get stuck on the cost per click and cost per lead. Crazy, stupid, short-minded. All right. So number 2, measuring our ad success by click ratio to make sure they actually read and engage with the ad. So it's not about the cost per click. It's about making sure your click ratios are right. And if they're converting and you make sure that means they're consuming all your content and getting pre-qualified. If your click ratio is off, that means they're not either reading your copy, they're not consuming it, they're either clicking too early or they're not clicking at all. Okay. So number 3 was the short ads, curiosity, right? So instead we write longer, more in-depth ads that convert better, allowing Facebook's algorithm to optimize for higher qualified users. And we showed you with Kimberly's ad, how long that thing is. Much longer, works much better. Optimizing for the ultimate goal. You basically want to optimize more for multiple objectives rather than just one. That's how you give the algorithm enough data. Let's say you're going to a lead magnet and then to a front-end offer. You want to optimize in one ad set for a purchase. You want to optimize in another set for a lead. You want to get both of those people that have that data in their profile. Because when you optimize for purchase, what Facebook is doing is they're showing the ad to people who have already bought stuff. So they're more likely to buy. but you can't do just that because the algorithm needs a certain amount of conversions in order to optimize and continue going. So you need more conversions like on your leads, where you're getting a lot of small conversions. So it keeps it running. So it's a synergistic effect where you can optimize for page view, lead, purchase, view content, all those things, right? You want to optimize for multiple objectives, okay? And then the last one is take attention naturally with proper context. That's like this, right? If I've learned anything from scaling Facebook ads, like anybody who reads that and that's their problem, they're going to read it. Like it's a no-brainer. She didn't try to do anything attention-getty or gimmicky or anything like that. We just naturally took their attention. And the people who, if we were trying to be invasive and direct, if we tried to do that, then we would have a lot of people marking it and hiding the post, marking it as spam, hiding the post, saying it's irrelevant. And then this ad would not have continued to sustain and make sales. I hope that makes sense. So, been applying C2C concepts to become an e-com launch strategy. Love the results so far in the first 48 hours. So this is someone who just came in, adding new bot and email subscribers at 20 to 40 cents a lead and qualifying them too. The CTR all 17, 10, average of 12. CTR links 6, 3, average of 4. Click ratios are good, right? Right on 3-to-1 click ratio. It's just what happens. Turns out C2C ads work great to a warm email list. Of course they do. They work even better. This week they ran a promotion for a client, use C2C style ads. Screenshots below speak for themselves, near textbook perfect CTR ratios on the ads and a solid CTR all as well. And here's the screenshots of that. The old way, CTR all is 1 and 1.94, and the link click through rate is 0.59, 0.58. The new numbers after the ads, CTR all 5.25 and 5.08, and the CTR link 1.64, 1.92. So he 5x'd his CTR all, 5x, so the 5 times more people are now clicking on and engaging in his ad, and his click ratios are perfect, almost, like within range. I mean, this is all day. I could keep going. Last one, Jason. Webinar in the health space right out of the gate. It started performing right now after 6 days as a positive return on ad spend of 3.28. Almost done with the new meal planning sales page and pricing, just waiting on one element. So yeah, CTR link 6.45, CTR all 15.62. If you go and look at your ads, I doubt any of you are getting these types of click rates, which means there's not that many people on your ads. And if you do, great, but do you have the right click ratios? And are you doing longer copy ads to pre-qualify and to pre-sell? Okay, so did you get what you paid for here, which is so far? Did you get what you came here for? Because that concludes our training. And I know it's a lot, your heads are probably spinning right now. There's no way around it, but this is the future. This is now, and it's what will be accepted as standard practice in the future, because it just proves out every single time. More and more people are learning about it. I have people in my group that are like, stop selling it. We don't want our competition to use this too. So I would ask, did you get what you came here for? Yes, yes, and thank you. Thank you. Yes, makes perfect sense. Yes, understands the future. All right. So was it worth your time? I think we all, from what I'm seeing right now, I think it was worth your time, right? Most definitely best webinar I've ever attended so far. Thank you. Right on, Carrie. Thank you. Do you feel like you could create better ads from what you've learned? Just from today. Damien, goodish? Really? Were you here the whole time, Damien? Absolutely. Krishan, right on. It was awesome. Yes, yes, right on. A lot to absorb, exactly. Awesome webinar. Can you show the Epic ad slide again? Yeah, sure. Yes, feel more confident. Yes, indeed, absolutely. What is the minimum ad spend number of days you need to run it to see if an ad is working? Richard, that's kind of like optimization stuff, which, yeah, you usually want to see like 500 to 1,000 impressions on an ad before you let it go to see if it's working. It's not about days and all that. It's about impressions. If 500 people see it and your click rates are acceptable, then yes, it's going to work, right? I really want that template. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys the offer, all right? And then I'll give you guys a template, okay? But you have to pay attention because inevitably I literally have it on the screen how to get it, and then I have people like asking, I can't find, where is it? Like, look at the screen, it's right there, okay? So, but we put it here in conspicuous for a reason. So here's my question. What if you had a tested and proven ad template for every level of upside, which is unaware, problem aware, solution aware, you or your product or deal aware, right? We call it upside. As well as a video ad template for every level in your ads. So you literally can create videos based on the outlines and write the copy along with it. And if that's you and you want to take your ads to the next level, then introducing our one-of-a-kind groundbreaking course, Code to Conversions. All right. 6 modules. Our first module is 18 social rules of engagement. These are the 18 things that people screw up all the time. This is how you get your ads sustained. 22 headline engagement formulas. It's actually like 30 something, but 22 above headline and below creative headline formulas. And they're for all different levels of awareness. And we've got over 22 of them that are proven, and it shows examples with every single one. And it's the awareness level for each one. So 22 of those that you can use. Then we have the epic ad templates. We've got a handful of the text ones here. We've got the epic long copy story ad formula template, which, by the way, the one you saw from Irina, that template is in that module. You get that. You get the template, the fill in the blank template. Then module 5 is the video ad formulas, where you get the video outlines along with the copy, which you can use the copy by itself even with videos in here. And then we have the optimization and troubleshooting, okay? So that's 6 modules. This works for all niches and industries: physical products, business owners, local business, info marketers, coaches, consultants, and agencies. We've worked with all of them. If you want to take advantage of our exact frameworks, processes, and outlines and templates that we use in our agency every day for our clients, which can be used for any ad on Facebook or Instagram, then Code to Conversions is for you. So guys, understand that this course is different from everybody else because all the other courses, they're talking about the optimization. They're talking about the structure, the campaigns, the latest trick with the algorithm, the latest ad hack, the latest, campaign budget optimization and all those things. Like, that's all mechanics. And honestly, that's all secondary to your message. The messaging is what matters. I think we've proven that on this call, right? So if the messaging is what matters, then I'm telling you, there's nothing out there in the world, in any language I've found, that has anything like this, where it's all about the messaging. Okay, this is an evergreen product. It's going to be just as relevant as it is now, as it is 3-5 years from now, because it's not subject to every time the Facebook Ads Manager interface changes, you have to redo the how-tos. Like, those are all the mechanics. You can go get the mechanics for free from Facebook. Google it, Facebook Blueprint. It'll tell you how to set up your ads. I'm not here to teach you the basics. I'm here to teach you what matters, okay? So in this course, you get 18 rules, or how we translate ads to the language of Facebook that converts and sustains long-term. The 22 headline formulas that engage your audience with the right below creative and above creative headlines at the right upside. So you get our deep dive for how to discover your audience awareness level. It has the 7 crucial headline elements. There's a few more I didn't teach you in here. Didn't have time. It gets too complex. But in here, you get all of them, and you're shown how to use them. Our proven list of 22 plus headline formulas that include every upside level. Specific formulas for below the creative as well as above the text, and you'll understand the psychology of why headlines work. When you work with this enough, you'll be blown away at what this does and how you can derive from the templates. Like, that's the greatest thing. You start with the templates, but then you start to learn the actual epic methodology, and you start to deviate and start to rework stuff and custom tailor it to your offer. And it gets even better, okay? So our templates, our client getting rainmaker, you can use this. This is literally our go-to, that you can modify the call to action on this to basically go to anything, and it works really, really well. So the Rainmaker is kind of like our all-around, you know, cross-training athlete. It can be used for just about anything. We have a webinar invite, Better Way template, our direct-to-cart solution template, right? So it's the direct-to-cart one that you're gonna, this is actually the one that for Chris, right? And we're creating, we're putting in, we're templatizing the one for Kim. You're gonna get that in here, okay? As well as a few others on how to sell a supplement as well, e-commerce. You get our framework on how to create more sales, how to look at your message and make it congruent with your ads. Our offer analysis worksheet on how to analyze an offer and know if you're missing anything. And then an ideal customer formula, which helps you actually put all the pieces together that we showed you with those elements, and then use them to go fill in the blank in the templates. So it has you put all that together. It walks you through how to do that. You find out your pain, the benefits, common bonds, all those things. It's a worksheet you work through. I have the training on how to do it. It helps you understand all of this and get a lot clearer on it than you ever have before. So the epic story formula, this is how to tell stories, create qualified prospects out of thin air. Okay, blue ocean markets, create customers on demand, sell with a story before the prospect even knows they're being sold, target niches that are generally considered out of reach and convert. All right. And it's got the credible witness story template, which is the template that you saw derived from what Irina's ad was. So the video ad formulas, guys, video and text combination templates. Also what not to do in your videos. And then these four, the what you need to know template, the absolute proof template, the cart filler, the anyone can do this template. Then we even show you our setup optimization, testing, and troubleshooting. So here's the coolest part about this, right? You get our full creation process on how we test it. Then you understand the code for reading your metrics. Then you get the troubleshooting checklist. So you can diagnose issues automatically so you know how to optimize on the fly. So what does that mean? So let's say your ad's not working. So then the checklist says, okay, look for these things. Do you have the click ratio off? Is this low? Is this high? What's going on? And then when you identify it, then the checklist gives you the exact steps to go back and fix. Like if it's this click ratio is off, then if it's off in this way, then that means you have this problem. You need to go and do this and this and this. It'll tell you exactly what you need to change. So when you get stuck, it's a roadmap to get through. Works really well using our agency. That's how we optimize on the fly. All right. Remember, all of this is proven on almost $1.5 million in ad spend. And that's just in the last 12 months. We've spent millions and millions, but Business Manager will actually only give me a screenshot of the last 12 months. So this has really been developed and refined off millions and millions of ad spend. Okay. So what's your cost? As some of you know already, with all of this, I mean, these modules could very easily sell by themselves for these amounts. I don't hype stuff. I don't put stuff up too much. I'm telling you, these things by themselves, people say they would have paid that for it. Okay, so adds up to $47.97 in value for the course. And if all this program did was increase your return on ad spend by 50%, think about that for 6 months straight, then a year. What would your business look like? Okay. So you're not going to pay $47.97, and we usually sell it for $19.95, but for the next 120 hours, we're going to give you a one-time payment of $9.97, and I'll do you one better. We'll give you 2 payments of $5.97. All right. So here's what you do. Click the offer in the chat, secure your seat in the course. After payment, you'll be directed to a confirmation page. Then you want to check your email where you'll get your credentials. And then the first module in the course is going to give you access to our Facebook group. Now that's one of our bonuses. And you have to have your billing email to be approved in the Facebook group. Okay. So here's what the question I get a lot. What if you follow the templates and they don't seem to work as well as you expect them to? Well, for each of these modules, when I released this earlier, I did a deep dive Q&A webinar where we went deep into the training, looked at examples, answered questions. I did hot seats. I looked at people's marketing and things that they did from the course and helped answer questions. So you get all of these recordings where these were all 2.5 to 3 hour long webinars that I did for each module. You get 6 of them, okay? You get all of them, every possible question, total clarity on the teaching, and you'll be able to learn by watching the feedback I give in that. So it's a deep dive. So you go even deeper here. So that's like, I think it's like 18 more hours of content. If you really want to get deep into this, it's there. Like there's no stone is unturned. And so I've gotten that. And then someone says, but what if I have a question after watching those? How do I get support? That's why we have the Conversion Coders Facebook group. You'll be able to get same day feedback from informed members who understand what you're trying to accomplish. Because if you try to write an ad like this and you give it to someone who doesn't understand this methodology, they're going to tell you it's too long. They're going to tell you it's wrong. They're going to tell you it doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow the one short curiosity headline thing that other major trainers teach them. They're going to shoot it down because they don't understand what you're trying to accomplish. But guess what? In this group, we do. So you'll be able to share this with others and crowdsource your ads. Post your ads inside the group. People give feedback. It happens all the time. See others' ads, know you're on the right track with yours. Okay. And it's a pretty active group where there's conversations in there every day. People posting and asking questions and posting their ads and giving feedback. And I'm in there every few days as well giving feedback. Okay. So that's bonus number 2, lifetime access. Okay. Bonus number 3, empathy map training. Okay. So Irina did a 2.5-hour session live where she walked people through an empathy map, which helps people understand how to craft their messaging and their stories. Okay. So this guy, Ken, that's one of the best calls I've ever been on. I've invested a lot in courses over the years and spent a lot of cash, and that call is probably one of the most powerful ever. How cool is that? Right? So, yeah. Number 4, you get the Epic Ad Formula mini course, where let's say this gets a little overwhelming for you. You can go over to the mini course and get the basics on the Epic Ad Formula. It's deeper than what I taught you today for sure, because it actually shows every single element. And then it has 2 recorded versions of cheat sheet walkthroughs where you have a cheat sheet that helps you kind of like put all this together pretty fast. And I basically take an hour with each person and we just work through the worksheet, the cheat sheet, to develop their ad. Okay. Damien, I got you. Good, got good-ish. Gotcha, Damien. That's funny. So then the 5th one, guys. So we couldn't leave without a guarantee. All right. So our completion guarantee. So this is what this is. If you finish the entire program and you use the worksheets to create your ad, you record your results, submit your results on your application. This is when you finish the course. You got to have, we check. Okay. And when you do, I personally, you just email me and we schedule a 60-minute personal coaching call where I can look at your ad and your funnel and help you out. This is an offer that I can't give for very long because my time is filling up fast as we sell these. And so I'm going to have to take this away really soon. So understand, I am not BSing you here. I cannot keep this completion guarantee forever. So you want to get in it before I take it out. So that means you actually get my eyeballs on your ad, fixing it, doing whatever if there's a problem, or me helping you make it better and also giving suggestions on your funnel and your messaging. Okay, so I'll take full 60 minutes with you. That's my guarantee to you because why? It's selfish for me. I want to see it working. I want to ask you when it works for a testimonial. That's why. I want to be like, hey, can you say something about the course for me? Walk me through your experience. Did it work? What was the problem you had? Because I want to be able to help and inspire others. That's what I did. That's why you saw the other testimonials. A lot of them actually were volunteered right in the Facebook group, some of the screenshots you saw. So, and yes, it is all recorded. Go at your own pace on demand. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that part. All right. Now, a lot of people have asked also, well, is that the only guarantee you offer? Yes. We do not offer a money back guarantee on this because these things work and we know they do. And this is our guarantee because we know that it works. Okay. So just understand that. All right. That, some people always offer like, money back and say, hey, I didn't think it was that good. Well, I'm not going to play that BS excuse with people because I know it's good. It works. It's proven in our agency. It's proven with everybody who uses it. And the only time it hasn't worked is when someone didn't follow the directions. So this is our completion guarantee. And this is a step that you want to take because you can actually get me on there with you myself to help you. Okay. So let's see here. Cool. All right. Just making sure chat's good. Okay. So you click the link in the chat. So here's all the bonuses you get. See all of that adds up to about 2,000 in bonuses just by itself. All right. So this is all you get. Modules 1 through 6, bonuses, 6 deep dive webinars, conversion coder Facebook group, empathy map, Epic Ad formula cheat sheet mini course, and that's actually 60-minute now. So you'll see that on the checkout page. That's in there. As a code member, here's everything you get. All of that put together, $73.87 in value, only $9.97. So when you click that link, here's what you're going to see. Okay, $9.97 or 2 payments of $5.97. If you want the one pay $9.97, then go ahead and click the $9.97 and pick that up. It's going to take you to the checkout page. If you want to do the 2 payments, it's the second one. It's below. Okay, and you'll make 2 payments. Now here's the only caveat with this. If you make the 2 pay, we won't do the completion guarantee until you make your second payment. So just know that. All right. And some people are okay with that, and that's fine. And you may need more time anyway. But that's that simple. Now, so let me honor. Now, first off, is this clear, guys? Does this make sense to you? And is it, now let me know in the chat. Does this seem like a pretty fair offer for the fact that I'm giving you something that can completely change your business? I'm literally going to wait until I see a response from you guys, because you guys are keeping me honest. I'm going to keep you honest. Okay. And let's see here. Yes, makes sense and is fair. Absolutely. I think so. So 120 hours, then it goes back up to 1995. Okay, so don't wait too long. All right. I know a lot of you want to go jump off and implement and see how it works, and I don't blame you. But come back. Make sure you pick this up. Join us. Be on the inside. Okay. Now. All right, makes sense. Perfectly fair. Krishan, Vera, sure it is. Vera, I got on you hard earlier, huh? Yeah, I didn't realize it. And then you were like very, nice and like, hey, but it's awesome. I so much appreciate it. I'm like, appreciate that, Vera. All right. Thanks, guys. So this is where you're going to go. Now, last thing here. If you know, and you're already at a point where you want to be able to do a lot of retargeting and scaling, okay, then what we did is we did a separate scaling and retargeting package. So I'm giving you guys what is my upsell right now. It's an order bump on the page. You'll notice right here, it says, yes, I want the scaling and retargeting package for $297. And that will give you 2 other modules along with a few more bonuses that teach you our full retargeting schemes and our scaling methods. Okay, it's only $297. By the way, Matt, or appreciate that. Sherry, congrats. She just joined, paid $997, 1 pay. Welcome to the family, Sherry. Look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. All right. Retargeting schemes. Okay, so this is one of the modules for the scaling and retargeting bonus. Now, so you don't, if you're not ready for this and all you want to do is get the templates and the stuff to get going and make your ads well, then the $997 is perfectly fine. But if you want to take it deeper and you want to learn the retargeting, and you want to learn scaling, then this $297, this is what this is. This is a $297 bump. Okay, so you can add this to your order for $297 one time. Okay, we normally sell it for $497. Okay, so you're getting $200 off, or you're basically, yeah, $250 off. No, $200 off, sorry. And what I did is I did a 3.5 hour long marathon where I revealed the exact retargeting schemes and the ads we use to even double and triple our clients' revenue. And that was with our biggest client at the time, Digital Marketer, where you'll see our full proprietary process on when to do what. You get our full repository of every ad. We have the live link, literally the clickable link in our repository that takes you to the ad, to the post on Facebook, so you can see it, okay? And some of those ads are still running. Digital Marketer is still running, actually, funny enough. You'll learn about the audience to budget ratio formula that you need. This is where a lot of people complain they can't seem to get retargeting impressions. It's because they're not using the right ratios in terms of audiences and budget. So you got to understand that, okay? It's a subtle thing. They don't talk about it a lot. We had to learn it by trial and error, okay? So like I say here, we literally cut our highest profile clients' cost per acquisition in half using the exact strategy. We reveal the whole thing on that module. And that can be used with anything. And then we use our SPS scaling system, okay? Scaling with margins. The exact process we follow to engineer a fully sustaining ad campaign at massive scale. You get our scale checklist. You learn how to set the right foundation for scaling so it doesn't all fall apart. And you learn how to keep your ad spend super efficient that grows safely. Okay, so those are our two that you can pick up. All right, and all you have to do is check the box up here right above the green text that says, yes, I want scale and retargeting package for $297. Cool or cool? Okay, so that's where it's at, right there. All right, so now I'm going to make good on my word, all right, because I said I would. So if you guys are ready for that template, it's time. So real quick, Richard, do the templates work if you're selling a physical product as opposed to a service? Yes, I've said that a couple times now. I believe is that it does absolutely work for physical products. So let's see, if you are selling owl jewelry, for example, to a niche market, can the templates work? I can't really see how the problem, pain, benefit, challenge, mechanism, solution framework can work. So we've used it many times with physical products. Now, I haven't really seen what it doesn't work with, Richard, but I don't want to necessarily try to guarantee and say that the product, like that particular framework, I believe it does. If you go through the process, you'll start to understand and uncover things that are much more important, because it's not about what you're selling. Epic ads and templates are about the psychology of someone making a decision. And what we're doing is causing people to make a decision. So yes, it can work, okay? But yes, when it comes to niche stuff like that, as long as you're not trying to compete on price with like a commodity, which that's just a losing game anyway, then Epic ads are going to work better for you. Okay. Now, Richard, it may, you may want to go try and test some of this and see, but also remember that if you try to go do long copy and you screw it up, you have a lot more room for error. If you don't know what you're doing, your ads are going to work worse. Okay. So this is kind of like a Ferrari, like you got to know how to drive it. Okay. And that's what the templates are for. They're like training wheels. They help you to get started. So you start to understand the psychology, but eventually 3 to 6 months from now, anyone who sticks with it says that they just pretty much write it from memory. They write their ads using Epic framework. So I absolutely believe it will help. And Leonard, congratulations. Welcome to the family. Great to have you. So congrats to Sherry and congrats to Leonard for joining, coming in for code. Just got that notification. It's awesome, guys. And thanks so much, Matt. Appreciate that. Matt's behind the scenes. He's my guy. He's running things from behind the scenes, monitoring the chats, putting stuff in there. You guys might have noticed that by now. He works with me in my agency. So with all of that, let me do this. On that same page, so where's that at? The payment options page. If you scroll to the bottom, okay, then you will see, so this is your template. I'm giving you the template right now, okay? Then it says in purple, click here to download the direct-to-cart solution aware template. It's actually blue. And you see the arrows pointing at it. I don't know how much clearer I can be, but someone's gonna ask me, how do I get the template? Because they're not paying attention. Love you guys, right? It happens every time. But just scroll below the buttons and it's right here. And all you have to do is click that link and it's gonna take you to a page where I have a 12-minute training video on how to use that template, which I have for every single template inside the course. I actually walk you through how to make that template work, because there's more to it than just fill in the blanks in terms of there's things you want to understand about it, because there may be tweaks you want to make for your specific offer and you need to know how to do that, okay? So if you click that button, it opens up a new page. It has a 12-minute video that has a video, and then there's a button to download the actual template, which you then can turn into a Word doc, a pages, document, whatever, and then use at your will, okay? All right. Richard, super big thanks, Chris and Matt. Really appreciate all the help. You're very welcome, Richard. Works for guest houses. Peeps don't need a problem for this. Guest houses. Yeah, so one of the things that you're going to find out is that when you're talking to solution-aware people, you're not going to be leading with your problem or your pain. You're still going to refer to it at the right time, but what's going to be more dominant is talking about your, solution-aware, like the solution, the benefits, the aspiration, things like that. Okay, but there's challenges you need to overcome too, which people don't bring into effect most of the time. So yeah, hopefully with you, that makes sense. So guest says, I don't see page. So if you click the link in the chat, then it takes you to, see, I knew it, someone was going to say this. This is the page, okay? Stay with me. Then you click here. When you click that link, it's going to open a new tab. And let me do this. I'm going to go there for you. So this is what it looks like now, okay? So I'm going to click it. And here's what's going to happen. So I've got this template. And right below it in yellow, right here, click here to download the template. You're going to see it when I click it, it actually opens up the template right here. I talk about the 12 major steps in the template, and then we literally have like the fill in the blank. See that? And I walk you through how it works and exactly what to put in there. Okay? That's simple. All right? Let's see if that helped. All right, Vera. Night, night. Nice on. Thanks, Vera. All right. All right, Carrie. Gotcha. I see that. Got to see what it converts to. Super big thanks. We appreciate all the help. Absolutely. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. It's cool. All right. Well, that's it. So essentially, any other questions? Actually, let me show you guys this. So a couple of people in my group, Candace, the more of code to conversions I'm exposed to, the more amazed I am at the detail, clarity, and brilliantly systemized structure of every single piece. Thank you, Chris. Your work here is thoroughly mind-blowing. Definitely goes far beyond the bounds of only a Facebook ad writing course. Meanwhile, this element is, of course, itself genius. I love that. Anyways, I'm beyond thrilled and pretty darn honored to be doing this program. So John, I'm still going through the training, and at the risk of sounding like some adolescent fanboy, I have to say this course is the single best investment I have ever made in my agency and our Facebook advertising strategy. Just amazing. Thank you for creating this, Chris. How cool is that, right? Mike, I've been through most Facebook courses that are available on the market, the style of ad copy, the understanding of the algorithm. You get a killer ad that's going to work better than anything else. I'm using this for all my clients. We rebuilt an entire funnel based on this methodology. We're already better than break even from the beginning. Sterling Gardner used to be a Hollywood screenwriter turned agency copywriter. Can't say enough. Beacon of hope in a very crowded Facebook ads marketplace. People are struggling just to get their ads seen and the cost is reasonable. Chris comes along, shatters the way everyone else teaches Facebook ad copy. Formulas are epic, no pun intended, and result in CPAs that easily drop in half, relevant scores that hover in the 8 to 10 range and afford you cheaper CPMs. If you're struggling to start your ads on the right foot, code is a no-brainer. If you're looking to scale, this is the best way to do that too. These skills are invaluable. So you just click the link in the chat. Click the link in the chat, and that'll help you. So check this out, right? Tim, he's selling patterns, physical quilting patterns from Alaska, all right? Through Code, that's where I'm from too. Through Code Conversions training, we have been able to increase our ad spend from $195 a day to $1,600 a day, and have increased our monthly revenue by 338% in the last 4 weeks. And with the improvements we've implemented during Code, I'm confident in hitting 7 figures within the next 12 to 18 months. Selling quilting patterns, physical products. So Lance, you are way over delivering. Best course on ads in general I've ever taken. Brandon Carter, 7-figure fitness influencer. Content is amazing. Definitely the best copywriting course I ever took. Frank, my wife says this is one of the best courses she's been through. Ramona says, yes, that's right. Thank you. That's his wife. Irina, 100% the best course I've ever taken, even for someone like me who first time saw Power Editor 2 years ago. It looked as terrifying as a pilot's cockpit. Love your vision. Mike, loving the social rules of engagement. Stuff is breakthrough for sure. Just a tiny success story. Veet, he got first time to ever get a relevant score of 10, not even using the full templates, but just the core ideas and structure. Tom Eberts did a few online courses and never experienced this value before. Steve Thomas had never been able to make any of his ads work. Made 3 sales with just over $1,600 in revenue, with $388 in ad spend. It's the first time in 2 years you've been running ads that I've got a positive ROI on ad spend. Still early, but this course has been a complete game changer for me. Chad used the cart filler template on another project, getting a 2-to-1 out of the gate. 2-to-1 return on ad spend. So yeah, right? The link you posted for the template takes you to a YouTube video? No. That was another guest trolling you with a Rickroll. Thanks for the help. Got to get back to work. Hope we can afford to take your course soon. I hope so too. Share the template. Hey, Matt, can you give them the page to the template and go ahead and throw that in the chat for everybody, please? Some people are having trouble clicking the link and saying it's not working for them. So let's just go ahead and give that in there. Oh, wrong link the first time. Ah, I see. I see that now. Gotcha, gotcha, Matt. Okay, I see it now. Cool, cool. Yep. Just remember, guys, the first link went to the payment page, which then had the link to the template on that payment page. Understand that. So, yeah. Link works perfectly. Right on, Richard. Cool, cool. Hope you guys get that. Test it out. See how it works. Okay. Any other last questions? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you what you actually get. I'm going to show you inside the course for a minute. How about I do that? You guys want to see what it looks like on the other side of the course? Richard, staying up all night. Yeah, I got you. You'll see. You'll see it works. But remember this thing, guys. Like, if it doesn't work, then it doesn't mean that the templates or the structure doesn't work. It means you didn't get your elements right. And that's what our ideal customer formula is for. Okay, so keep that in mind too, that if it's not working, it's because there is more elements to take care of. There are more things to pay attention to. That's what the course helps you actually get through all of that. I've given you the keys to the kingdom to go and understand how this works. But if you don't define your elements properly, then it's not going to work. Okay, so I want you to understand that. So if it doesn't work, you may say, Chris's stuff doesn't work. No, you didn't take the time to make it work. Okay, I will tell you that right now. Anytime someone's been like, this isn't working, I've gotten on and been like, oh, well, you did this, or you did this, that's why. You missed this. Or it's actually probably this pain point and not this pain point, you know? So let me show you this. Let me show you inside the course. Okay, so the first thing is you're going to be able to get access to our Facebook. So this is the curriculum inside of our Teachable. Okay, we use Teachable. We love it. It doesn't allow to share logins, which I love. And so, but if you have a partner, then just so you know, we do allow your partner. So for those of you, it's kind of like a 2-for-1 ticket. So if you buy the course and you have a partner and you can prove they are a business partner, then we will add them as well to the course and to the group for you, so you can work on that. All right. Now you get instructions to the group. which we check for that. You have to put your billing email, the email you used in your billing, and then we cross-reference it. And so you need to allow up to 24 hours to allow that to happen, but usually we get you in there within a few hours, okay? Fernando, congratulations, bought code to copy or code to conversions and took the scaling and retargeting package. Good on you, Fernando. Fernando, thank you. $12.94. So he took the scaling and retargeting package as well. Very smart, because you have to pay more for it later. So now we've got one of the webinars in here, because so much of the foundational content is on this webinar. So you'll have that webinar to watch in there, okay? And if you've been on this full webinar, then great. But then we get the social rules of engagement, right? So part 1 and part 2, and then the deep dive webinar based on it. So this is where like I get on and I start walking through like the actual specific things that you need to do, the social rules of engagement, that if you screw this up, this is why your ads aren't going to sustain, okay? So that's that part. And there's part 1, part 2. Then we get into the audience engagement formulas. You can see here, I've got, you see that was on the, that's on the thing. So this is a video, and then it's got the download of the proven headline formulas, right? And we've got the slides in here for that, of all the different elements and the different headline formulas, okay? And so you get unaware, problem aware, like I actually in each section like show the different ones, right? So then into the next module, we get the framework for Facebook ads, the 105% framework, so you understand this. And then we start to use, you know, offer analysis. We've got a couple of them in there, a couple examples on how to use an offer analysis, our worksheet, okay? You'll see that I kind of walk you through this stuff, like the different elements that an offer needs. Talk a little bit about Epic and how it relates with a sales message, how it relates with the sales page. Then we get into, hey, here it is, our go-to, the Rainmaker lead magnet ad, right? We walk through, this is a 20-minute video explaining how to use this and showing you examples, okay, on how to actually do this to make it work for you, okay? The problem is if you don't have these and you go off and try this and it doesn't work, I can guarantee you it's because there's certain elements and psychological things that are just not clear, okay? These things get clear for you. They make it clear. They filter it to where it's clear, okay? So obviously we've got, you know, the deep dive webinars. Like this one was 2 hours and 33 minutes, okay? Just going through, looking at different stuff, answering questions, getting deep into it. And then the long copy, the story ad formula, Epic story formula, right? We get into this. And then I go into each section here on the left. You see where my mouse is at, lesson 3, lesson 4. You go into each section and break down how it works and what you need. Checklists, right? There's the empathy map session in there as a bonus, the deep dive webinar. This one I think is closer to 3 hours, I think. Oh, actually only 2 hours, okay. But the other ones are much longer. So then the ad and funnel optimization. So actually the videos, here's the videos, what you need to know, the absolute proof, the cart filler, anyone can do this template, our complete ad creation process, our code for reading our metrics, the troubleshootings, they're all there. And then the bonus with the retargeting schemes and everything too. So, and that comes only in, this is the order bump version. So the retargeting schemes is there. So that's essentially like, and then of course the then the scaling module comes in if you buy that, and the retargeting schemes module with the full repository and all that other stuff, okay? So that's what we get inside of here, all right? Any last questions? Richard. All right. Just checking these. Checking the chat. Are we all good? Richard, Chris, can you watch each of the modules more than once? You can watch it as many times as you like. You can go in here and replay and replay and replay to your heart's content. And in fact, I highly, highly recommend that to really get all of this to a deep level, to a mastery level, you're gonna need to go through it 2 or 3 times. because there's so much here. Now, you could take just the first parts and the templates and implement them and use them. But if you really want to get down to it, there's so much more. Along with those deep dive webinars, we can get heady, a little heady. All right, much information, a little overwhelmed, never done ads before of any kind, giving this course some serious thought. Yeah, absolutely. And here's one of the things I would say also as if you're new, right? So here's what I would say. It's even better if you're new, because then you're not being indoctrinated into the bad way, or you've been ruined by the other tactics that are not sustainable on Facebook. So that means you're going to be able to start the right way and eliminate a lot of wasted ad spend, a lot of wasted money. Now, this course is all about the messaging. And then module 6 is all about our setup process. And so that helps you understand how you do that, but we're not going to teach you the mechanics of, if you don't know how to set up an ad, you need to go learn to do that. Now, get the course anyway, because that doesn't take long at all. And if you want to learn how to, if you don't know how, if you don't know the mechanics of it yet, then just Google Facebook Blueprint, and it's a free course given by Facebook that shows you how to work with the ads manager, the mechanics of all that stuff. Okay, those are the basics. This course doesn't teach the basics of the mechanics. It teaches the basics of our messaging philosophy, and then it dives all the way deep down into advanced messaging when you're ready for it. So if you're new, you can take this and take it at the first layer, use the templates, use the rules, use the worksheets. And if you want to go deeper into it, it's really a go at your own pace. And you can go deeper and deeper and deeper, if you like, into mastery. And we're always having fun in the group, and you get to watch me critique other people. So here's one last thing, something I didn't even actually put in here for you guys. So let me go back to this. One last thing here that I did not share with you. This is important. For those of you who left, that sucks. Yes, Fernando. You'll have that in a few minutes. You'll get your emails and you'll be able to respond. And we can definitely do that for you. So get you your invoice. So here's what I want to do real quick. Let me tell you, I'm starting a monthly copy critique, ad copy critique, and funnel review service. So basically, what that means is twice a month I get on a live webinar for 2 to 3 hours, and we're calling it Code Critiques at the moment, working title, okay? And what I'm doing is I'm reviewing ads, reviewing funnels, and literally rewriting ads that people submit. Now, this is going to be regular and ongoing, $97 a month. To be a part of that, you'll be able to get on, submit your stuff, first come, first serve, and get feedback, right? I look at your ads personally, and everyone else gets to watch. So it's a big group coaching session. You get to learn from everybody else who submits their ads, okay? So I take you deep, right, when you're ready for that. But here's the thing. With this product, I'm going to give you 60 days free to that, which means 4 webinars you get to hop on, because there's 2 a month, 60 days free. And Richard, congrats. Richard just joined and added the scaling and retargeting. Awesome. Congrats as well. But this is going to give you 60 days free to Code Critiques. So if you buy Code to Conversions, you get 60 days free to Code Critiques as well. We're going to be starting that next month. So you'll be getting an email, you'll be getting a link, and you'll be able to hop on and join us. Even if you don't have ads to review yet, you get to sit on and be a fly on the wall and watch me walk through and fix and correct and rewrite people's ads. That's usually going to be $97 a month, okay? And you're going to get 60 days free to that as a part of Code to Conversions. And we only allow people who, now this is very careful, listen to me. We only allow people who buy Code to Conversions to be members of Code Critiques, because we don't want you coming on to Code Critiques not understanding the philosophy or the methodology and showing an ad that everyone knows has so many things that are different than what we teach. So you have to have bought Code to Conversions, been a member, and then be able to submit your ads based on the teaching. Okay, so it's a very close-knit thing. It's not going to be a lot of people at first, and so you'll get to be there and get a lot of attention, essentially, on a small group. So we've already got a group of about 100 people in our Facebook group, and I imagine probably a third or half of them or more are going to be there. So it's going to be a small group. You can ask questions. I'll stay on until all questions are answered. It's the way I am. You see me here. I'm doing the same thing right now. So, all right. Congrats, Richard. Right on. Certainly did. So if you get this, 60 days free to Code Critiques. And so what we're going to do is you'll get an email about that. So everybody who's a member of Code is going to get 60 days free. You need to get in now, because we're going to cut that off, and then you're going to have to pay the first month for it if you're not getting it soon. Okay. So you want to be within this 120-hour deadline that we're going to give you. And why do we do that? You're like, oh, why are you taking it away? Because we know most people procrastinate, and we still love you anyway, but we want to give you a reason to get off the fence and make a change for your life. Because if this can change your business, it changes your life, right? And this is a way, understand that this philosophy actually gives you a chance to do your ads with integrity, feel good about them, not feel greasy or slimy or trying to do the sales thing, but do it in a way that's natural, okay? Our templates are meant to be fill in the blank natural with your words. So you can do it your way and have it feel like it's your voice, and people feel good about it, and people connect with you. So you don't have to do this weird thing where you think sales is an unethical thing. It's not. This is communicating properly. It's time for this, because people are over all the BS. People are over the smoke and mirrors. They're over all those things. And that's what Code is. That's where this is going, okay? So Richard, I just missed the bit about how to access Code Critiques. You will get an email. We're starting that next month. You get 60 days free access to Code Critiques. After that, it's going to be it's going to be $97 a month. So how that's going to work is you're going to get an email, and then you're going to you're not going to charge your card, but you're going to authorize your card to be charged in 60 days. And then it's going to go 97 from there every month. But you'll get 60 days, and obviously you can cancel at any time. And you can cancel before your 60-day trial of Code Critiques comes up. So I'm very excited about this. Looking forward to having you guys. I have fun doing this. So I would say right here, those 60 days could be very, very invaluable for you. So I would say join us. Yeah. We haven't written the email yet. That'll happen next week. Okay. All right. So anything else? Any other last questions? I'm here. Take advantage of it while you can right now. Richard, I've spent 2 years dabbling with Facebook ads and building websites and have been thoroughly downhearted and almost ready to give up. I wholeheartedly feel excited again for the first time since I started. I can't thank you enough for the uplifting, inspiring talk today, and I'm super motivated once again. Bless you and the team. Richard, bless you. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you. Welcome to the family, bud. Really, really honored to have you. Appreciate the kind words, by all means. Absolutely. Yeah. And even Matt says thank you. And even Matt. That's funny. Matt's the first to be thankful. Okay. Sheila just signed up. Right on. Sheila, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Very, very cool. All right. I'm liking this. Once again, you'll get an email, and then you'll get your instructions to access the course. And the first module is going to give you access instructions to get into the Facebook group. So congrats. Looking forward to it as well, Sheila. Welcome to the family. Okay, guys, so there's a couple of you on the call. I'm going to do this one last thing, and then we're going to get out of here unless you have any questions. There's a couple of you on the call that are, you've gone through stuff in the past and you've been burnt. And you're like, I'm never buying another course again. I think it's it's always about they want to sell you stuff, but then they don't follow through. And I've dealt with that where it was malicious, and I've also dealt with that where people had good intentions, but they weren't able to deliver. They weren't capable. They don't know how to run a business, and they don't have competent people around them. And they're just marketers. They know how to market, and that's all they're good at. And I would have said that a few years back, I was starting to become a good business owner, and I was a really good marketer. But what I will say now is that we've built an infrastructure here that supports you. You have a Facebook group, we have support, we have all of these different things you're going to be able to take advantage of, and we make sure we follow through on what we do. And we're continually adding to the course. We've got 3 or 4 more templates going to be added over the next few weeks to the course, including Kimberly's ad, that template derived from her ad, as well as the supplement one and a couple others. Looking forward to that. So we're continually making it better. Even after you've paid for it, you're not paying anything extra, you're still going to get more value there, because we want to make this the best course ever. And it's the best course ever when people just start to continue to recommend it. And that's what's starting to happen a lot. So you want to get in here now, all right? Because here's the thing. I understand if you've been burnt. I understand if most of this stuff doesn't make sense. But if I don't let your pessimism or apathy of people not following through color this right now. This is different. You will see that inside the group. Anybody in there you ask, I'm in there. Okay, you guys get the support you need. We have such a supportive community of marketers that get in there and give you feedback on your ads right away. Okay, it's not like a lot of other places. So if there's one course, literally, if there was ever one Facebook ads course, I'd say it's this. And it's the only one you'll ever need, right? Because you can learn the mechanics. And once you learn the mechanics, things change, and you can just change with the changes. It's easy. This is the last Facebook ads course you'll ever have to buy. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. Bold claim, I know. But it's proven itself out every time. I'm waiting to be proven wrong, really. So, all right. Just making sure there isn't any other quick questions. Okay. That's going to be all for now. Have a good evening, and we will see you on the inside. Take care, everyone.